And we're live.
Well, everybody Mav claims we're live. So I hope we're live. It's another Thursday episode of PM in the PM, and you are tuned into one of the greatest YouTube channels ever created. That is right, the Fun Speculation Network. The only place where you get to see these two beautiful faces right here on a weekly basis. Well, actually, we are other places too, but consistently on a Thursday night. PM in the PM, Pog and Mav. In the PM, you know where to find us. We are starting a little late tonight. Appreciate you all with the patience. I was coming in hot from work today. I thought we might actually have to go later. Mav actually got caught up and behind, so it was kind of both of us tonight. But thank you all for joining us. We're happy to be back. A slow week this week, news-wise per se. Some people would count this as a really slow week, but Mav and I are here to talk because we're going to talk some gaming. We're going to save Mav. Before I introduce you to, just so you know, just a little side note, I'm going to ask you if you played anything outside of Avowed, because we're going to just save the Avowed commentary for obviously our conversation, because I think we're going to have some unique takes. I think it's going to be fun. So we're going to save it, but hope everybody's having a great week this week. Mav and I were just talking about the cold. Obviously, I'm up in Minnesota, so it's normal. You guys probably saw my post on Monday where it was -18. Or -17, whatever the hell it was that day. Like I said, that'll wake you right up. But even Mav down in Texas has been getting some extra cold weather for them this week too. So I hope you're all staying warm wherever you are. And if you're in the tropics, I'm jealous, and I hope you're having a great time. Yeah, thanks all for joining us. But let's get to my sidekick here, the man who actually owns about 49.5% of the Fun Speculation Network. Of course, the beautiful Miss Caitlin, who does our thumbnails, who thought my title, which I was busy at work, it's a slow week, she thought it was gay. So that's what she told Mav. Mav sent me the DM and let me know that's what Caitlin thought of it. I can't win them all, Caitlin, but you do win them all every week. Miss Caitlin, with your amazing thumbnails, no matter what kind of bullshit we give you, you deal with it and you come up with great ones. So thank you. But she does own the 50.5% of the Fun Speculation Network. But this man right here is one of my brothers from another, and I love talking to him on Thursday nights. And he's nice enough and gracious enough to give me this chair. So Mav, what the hell you been up to, brother? I hope your week's been great. And obviously, like I said, outside of Avowed, you played anything else? Because we are going to talk about Avowed very shortly here. But anything else?
Yeah, no, a lot of Avowed. I'm going to talk all about Avowed right now. No, I'm just kidding.
Yo, that's fine. If you want to just
no,
blow it out of the water,
we'll save it. No, I been playing Balatro, NBA 2K, Madden, some Forza. A little bit of the regulars, kind of hopping around. But except for since the last 3 days.
Right.
Since 2 days ago, it's been pretty much all something else, right? But the Balatro still mixed in, Balatro still mixed in.
I gotta get Balatro at some fucking point, bro.
It's addicting, dude. Like I'm on
obviously.
Because on each deck, there's different difficulty levels. You can increase the difficulty, and it makes it more challenging. And so I started trying to really complete all of the difficulty levels on the decks, and I'm 2 difficulty levels away from completing completely the red deck. I'm difficulty level 6 or 7 on it right now. And I'm just hitting my head up against a brick wall trying to get past that one. But eventually I will do it. Kate's been addicted to Balatro too, so sometimes I'll just pop it on and she'll watch, and we'll kind of oh, you should do that one or do that, kind of playing it together. I'll help her out, she'll help me out. But yeah, man, I've been just having fun, chilling, working a lot, playing games, just doing random stuff, dude. But it's been busy, so didn't have a show on Friday. Wasn't able to have a show on Monday.
Yep.
So this is the first show actually since last week's PM in the PM, which is
no Mavcast either.
Yeah, nothing. Yeah, and there's a game I need to get to streaming too. Yes. So I'm gonna do that this weekend at some point. But yeah, man, I've been looking forward to just playing this other game that I'm not allowed to talk about in my intro a lot. So
Well, you could say the fucking name, bro.
it starts with it starts with an A.
It might be in the thumbnail.
It starts
Everybody.
with
It
an
might be in
A
the
and ends with a D, and somewhere in the middle there's a W.
Oh my god. Adidas 20 or Adidas for us Americans. Either way, dropping with the $2 here.
All the
Salute.
day
Salute to you, brother.
I dream about. What's up, Adidas? Appreciate the $2 super chat. Salute to you, sir.
Yes, salute to you, brother, for sure. Salute to everybody. Well, I'm happy to hear that you were playing a lot of shit though. That's pretty nice.
Yeah,
I like
man.
that,
You know how I do? I'll play on PC, I'll play on the cloud and kind of hop around different stuff, you know?
Outside of this mystery game that we can't talk about now, just because I
Yeah.
said let's save it for a minute. I love you, man. I love you. Yeah, no, man. Yeah, for me, up until the mystery game showed up, actually, I've got one to throw in there too. I'll throw that in there because I did fire it up last night, even with the mystery game that we're going to talk about here in a minute, being on the docket. But up till that point, kind of status quo of what I was doing. Again, a lot of New Dawn, Far Cry New Dawn. I
Yeah?
posted some screenshot. Yeah, bro. It's just peanut butter and jelly. It's just good. It's not fantastic. It's not.
Yeah,
I
that
wouldn't even.
4K 60 updates that
That
we got for
4K
free
60.
though really
Yes.
hits, doesn't it?
That's why I'm playing it, bro.
Yeah.
That's why I'm playing it. And again, I didn't play a lot of it back when it first launched at all. Like I just was like, oh, this is kind of cool, whatever, blah blah blah. Now, again, it's not the greatest story in the world. I don't really like the characters. Some of the shit is still in there. The bugs are still in there where you'll be fighting a bear. Speaking of bears, there's a lot of bear talk too, by the way. But speaking of bears, but yeah, you get attacked by a bear and all of a sudden it disappears for no reason, like just glitches and it's gone in the Matrix. Like, okay, all right, I guess we're not fighting a bear anymore. The AI the companions are annoying as hell. They're some of the worst out of the Far Cry bunch. Actually, some of the AI companions that Far Cry has created are actually pretty cool people to have around and stuff. This bunch is just a bunch of annoying assholes. So I take the warthog with me everywhere. The pig. Love that pig. That pig is my buddy. Love him to death. But yeah, it's just a good game, and it can be the environments in that game can be gorgeous. And I posted screenshots of the environments this week. No action shots. Again, the graphics are starting to show their age a little bit. But the environments, bro, in photo mode, like there's some beautiful sunrise and sunset. Just phenomenal. And some of the structures and some of the mountains in that game. Just really enjoying myself. It's just fun, man. It's just fun. And then the other game outside of the Mr. game that I do want to plug this week, and I posted about it because it dropped out of the blue, map, out of the blue into Game Pass. Another surprise. And I'm sorry, but we have cultivated a fan base around here, Mav, of CRPG lovers. CRPGs are obviously with Baldur's Gate 3 success in vogue again with a lot of people. A lot of people tried it. Listen, don't sleep on Warhammer 40K Rogue Trader. Do not sleep on this game. I know the A game we're going to talk about is big right now, especially on the Xbox side of things. But I'm telling y'all, do not sleep on this. And the first thing that happened this week, Mav, to tell a little story for people who have not been following along with this, all of a sudden Rogue Trader got Play Anywhere status, Mav.
Yeah.
Now, I picked it up on Steam, right? Because I had played Rogue Trader on a free-to-play weekend. Xbox had it on a free-to-play weekend last year. And I had played for about, I think I got 6 hours in. 5-6 hours in. Fantastic first impressions. I probably talked about it at the time. I know I talked about it at the time. But I was waiting because, of course, it's got DLC now. It's got a season pass. It's got all sorts of updates. So I was kind of waiting to get the complete package deal. However, that package deal never really goes on sale because it's seen massive, or I shouldn't say massive, but it's seen really good success on PC. Of course, right? CRPGs do. But this one is very highly talked about and highly rated if you go and looked at people who play CRPGs. And so it never really went on sale, the complete package. So I picked it up cheap on Steam. I finally got it at one of the key shops for I think I got it for like $12. So I picked it up, but I hadn't downloaded or played it yet. Now obviously that's a Steam code. Well, this thing showed up this week as Play Anywhere, man.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, holy shit. This was before the Game Pass announcement. So then I started looking. I'm like, oh, well, shit. Now I'm going to have to freaking double dip because I got my save, my 6-hour save on Xbox, right?
Yeah.
And now I'm like, oh, shit. Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, I've got it on Steam, whatever. I'll double dip. I got it cheap over on Steam. That's fine. I'll double dip because I want it on my console and then I can play in the Windows Store and keep my save, right? Fucking, I'm in. This is the benefit that we've talked about so many times. And this is just some random third-party game that shows up as Play Anywhere. But it happened to be one of the ones I've been really sitting on. So I started looking and looking and looking, and sure enough, really couldn't find it super cheap anywhere. So I was like, ah, shit, maybe I'll hold off. I've got this A game that I'm going to play a lot of. I got some other stuff I need to play. Maybe I'll just hold off. And then we get the surprise announcement this week, Matt, that it's coming to Game Pass on top of everything else, both PC and regular Game Pass for Xbox. And I'm like, Hallie freaking Luya. So made some more fucking room. I've been deleting shit left and right, made some more room, downloaded Rogue Trader both on the Xbox and the PC now. And I fired up Rogue Trader last night for a short period. On the Xbox after I got done with the A game. Do not sleep on this game. Again, my first impressions were fantastic. If you like CRPGs, turn-based, classic style CRPG, this game is freaking dope. If you like the Warhammer lore, even freaking better, okay? This game from the start, from the get-go, characters well written, detailed RPG, of course. We're talking about really deep mechanics, RPGs, talking about picking subclasses, all that kind of stuff. This game has it all. Mav, you got to play this game too
I
eventually.
will for sure. Would you compare it more like a Wasteland 3-esque or
Sort of Wasteland 3-esque, but more in line with your Pathfinders, your
okay.
Neverwinters.
Wow. Okay.
Straight up. But story-wise, Mav, dope as hell. Out
Yeah.
the gate. Like drops you in to like this big time kind of story, like right out the gate. And again, this isn't classic. This isn't Space Marine Warhammer. Okay. This is Rogue Trader. So this is pirate life,
Right. Right.
right?
Right. Right.
Rogue traders go around the entire galaxy and they basically look for loot, is what a rogue trader is. But there's a whole backstory. The ships are like their castle, like it's just nuts how deep obviously Warhammer lore is. But this is excellent. And the turn-based, the tactics in this game, awesome. The different classes, different skill-based stuff that you have, along with the different weapons that you can use in this game, freaking awesome. So everybody, please, if you have any interest in CRPGs, go check out Rogue Trader.
Damn
Do
it, Pong! I have my hands full.
I know, but it's in Game Pass, bro. So again,
Yeah, I know.
just
Now I
download
want
and
to.
play it. Try it out when you can. Like even the character creation is fucking super dope. Like again,
Yeah, I
it's
need
so
to get
awesome.
into it.
So
Fuck.
so yeah, go check that out. And I fired mine up last night. My save is instantly there, ready to rock and roll. Continue right where I left off. Played it last year, like I
Gotta
said.
love it.
I gotta love it, man. Same on PC. Fired up on the PC. Check it out to make sure my save was there instantaneously. Play anywhere. So yeah, freaking amazing. So go check out Rogue Trader. So that's what I've been doing for the most part. There's probably been a couple other things in there. I think I played some more Tokyo Extreme last weekend as well. I did fire that up. Was there anything else on Steam that I fired up that was kind of weird?
Tokyo, I
I don't.
finished the early access stuff. So
Did you?
yeah,
Congratulations, brother.
yeah. I got as like finished that like early last week or maybe even
Okay.
the week before. I can't
Okay.
remember, but yeah, it was so good. Now I'm just kind of chomping at the bit, waiting for the full release, which I think will be springtime sometime.
Yeah,
You know,
it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be.
yeah.
Wasn't supposed to be that long.
They
It was supposed
did
to be only
just
3, 4
announce that
months.
there was an update to the early access version, fixing some things and adding some things. So I got to take a look at what that was. But yeah, man, I'm like, but once you like finish early access stuff, like it
Yeah.
unlocks this other amount of cars that you can get and everything. but there's no new rivals really or anything like that. But you
Yeah.
can go through and still experience the other cars that I'm able to buy now and upgrade to higher levels. Oh, it gets so fast, bro. It gets so fast. But it's harder to earn money now
Oh,
because I've
yeah.
already beat everything, like all the bosses and stuff. But yeah, it's I'll take a little break from it for a little while and come back to it.
Yeah.
But
Why
yeah,
not?
it's fan freaking tastic.
I hope it gets console release. I hope they come out with full release and then they get the
Me
console release.
too. Like, I hope it did well. I don't know how good the early access version did or not. I know it was overwhelmingly positive on Steam, so that's got to help for something. But
It does.
overall, yeah, I want that franchise to be back in a big way. I want them to keep coming out with content and do some
Yeah.
cool shit with it.
Oh, it deserves it. Again, it's a unique racer. It
Yeah.
doesn't again, it's nostalgic and it's old school, but it fits in because there's just not a whole lot of games like that anymore. Ma'am, I gotta take care of this dog. You want to say hi to the chat? We're gonna flip it up,
Hi, chat.
switch it up a little
Yes,
bit.
sir.
Yeah, thanks.
Hi, Cammy. That's Pong's dog's name, by the way. Anyway, Cyber Gunter, Spartan, sup? Be nice. How's it going, Sir Talos Ray? How are you doing? BT Maverick 707, the one and only Poison Maniac is here hanging out. Masshole 1977, what is going on with you? Spatan 13, the one and only Corkenstein. How's it going, Cork? Hope you're doing good. Stash Gordon says, "What's up? What's up with you, sir? How are you doing? Hope you're doing well." Stone King says, "Playing Avowed now on the Xbox Series X. I am level 15 with 5 pieces of exceptional purple gear. Xbox for the win. Game over." Oof, man. Doing well, Stone. Doing well there with your Avowed play. I'm not as far as you, but we'll get into that later. Snooky Jackson, what's up? Says, "What's up, Mav and Pong Gaming family? How are you doing?" Vertung Mogambi says, "Check the map. I'm sure it shows where to turn it." Oh, you're talking to BT Maverick there about Avowed as well. Right on, dude. Let's see who else we got here. Spartan661. Hope you're doing well. Nathan Hardman. Hello, Nathan. How are you doing? It's Timmy. How's it going? To Timmy as well. Let's see who else we got in here hanging out. E Ranks is here hanging out. Says, "Shady Part of Me was a solid indie game." I haven't tried that, but I need to. It's up to Adidas 20. Then there's my beautiful wife Caitlin hanging out in the chat. What's up, Kate? Let's see here. We got a Verg based Brizzle says, "Yo, yo, yo, yo." Leaf Xbox going, or Leaf says, "Xbox going third party to enable them to acquire more people will play Xbox catalog of games, which will equal more Xbox and Game Pass sales." It is difficult to argue with some of that logic. We'll see about actual Xbox console sales in the future. I don't know if they're going to ever do more or less or the same, but time will tell. Ultimately, more players for sure and more money into Game Pass. But shout out to you, Leaf. Hope you're doing well. Andrew Collinane's here hanging out. Coach Hooded Canuck is here hanging out. How are you? How are y'all doing? Buzz, we got Buzz here. See Colin Prime here. Man, awesome names. Lots of people. Sometimes you don't realize how many people actually interact with the chat until you roll through and actually see that if we have what now it's like 80 something concurrent viewers, it seems like there's like 80 something names actually chatting in the chat, which is awesome to see. Isaac Hayes, how's it going, bro? Coach Hooded Canuck, I think I already said yeah. I'm not sure, can't remember, but if I didn't, hello to you. Matthew Gale, hello as well. We got Cyber Gunter, and I think we are caught up unless I missed some on the
Oh,
bottom. Shout out to everybody. Oh yeah, we see some new names. Ray Oid, Dark Zone. Appreciate you guys. JMO Money, how's it going? To everybody. Def Leopard, good evening. Shout out to you. And Hashim Graham. What's up? What's up? All right. I think I got everybody.
That's why I love rolling through.
Dom Omar. Yo.
We do get to see it. It's a good reminder again. That's why I love doing that. That's why I do it here. That's why we do it on Living Split Screen, because I think it is fantastic to you don't realize, Mav, until you start scrolling through the names and you see how many people are actually just even conversating, let alone watching us. And it's great. And again, without them, We're just nobodies, man. We're just sitting here bullshitting, you and I. So thank you all for being here, and thanks, man, for taking over. This dog is so damn needy when she has to see me all day.
What's up,
Crazy.
Sith?
It's like a kid. What's going on, Sith? Ray Oid. Sorry I didn't respond back to your DM, Sith. I was driving by that time, and I was rushing to get home to get into this show. So, but appreciate you, brother, for sure. And we are going to talk some Avowed, like right now, man. So yeah, everybody. Of course, a lot of people were already playing Avowed Early Access. Mav and I, we held off on our FOMO. We did not buy the update or the upgrade path to get the early access to premium edition. And both he and I kind of sat back. I should say I played more Warriors Abyss. I can't believe I didn't say that, man. Of course, I've been playing Warriors Abyss too. Anyway,
that's my next one. I'm trying to save up my rewards for that one because it's only $25. So I'm at like I have a $10 card that I already got. I'm on my next leg.
So damn good. Anyways, so yeah, Mav and I held off on our FOMO. So we didn't jump in, and we kind of watched everybody around us, and we got to hear some people's conversations. Like on the shop last week, I got to hear Fuzzy's thoughts on it. His early, obviously, a lot of people have been talking about it. Shout out to Boom, who says it's Obsidian's greatest RPG of all time. Shout out to KS Sante, who thinks that this is a fantastic game. There has been a wide range of conversations happening around Avowed. Obviously some people are on the side that this is already a failure because the Steam numbers aren't great. Whatever. Again, whatever. But there's a wide range of conversations, right? And I think that Mav and I are going to have some interesting conversation right here, and you guys will see why here in a second.
We haven't talked behind the scenes about this at all.
We haven't at all.
So, but I have a feeling based on what I've played, the things that you're going to say, because I know you, and I know how you play these kind of games.
Sure.
So I already have a good idea in my mind. But I don't know if you're prepared for what I'm going to say.
Yeah. I mean, I saw your one post about it.
Yeah.
So I did see your one post when you first started playing.
Yeah.
Obviously, things have changed. And I think, how many hours you got in, Mav?
Probably like 10 or so. I'm still pretty early. I'm like level 7, I think.
Okay.
And I'm running. I'm like walking around, like exploring, trying to find things, doing side quests. I've been experimenting with my build and having a lot of fun with that, and I kind of settled on one, I think. So
perfect. Okay. So yeah, we're both gonna. I've got, I think, just under 8 in. So we're close. We're similar, right? So yeah, this will be first.
It might be around 8 too. I'm trying to guess.
Yeah,
I know
earlier you're higher level than me, which means you've been doing something a little bit different than me for sure, because the levels do not come easy in this game. So, yeah, I think this is gonna be our first impressions, more so than anything, subject to change, obviously, because this is a pretty damn big game too as we play through it. So, yeah, that'll give everybody kind of a heads up as to where we're at. So I just wanted to get that out of the way. But go ahead, Mav. I mean, again, you've jumped into Avowed now. Obviously, we've heard a ton of people for the past week or just over a week now talking about Avowed. I think I've read through a lot of reviews, listened to a lot of the reviews from the people that I generally go to. I did read the not so great ones as well, because I always like to see what they're seeing or what they're, if it's just BS or if they actually got some valid points in there. And I've watched some people play through, and obviously Steele's been posting a ton on X as well, and I've been reading people's posts about this. So, but Matt, for you, now that you've had a chance, kind of dive in a little bit and get your first impressions out the gate, your first 10 hours. I'm assuming you're still in the first area like I am, right? I'm assuming you haven't really gone.
Yeah, I guess technically the second, because the opening, you're on that other whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
But you've gone over.
Yeah. I'm in Paradise.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So, what are you thinking, Matt? What give me, obviously, just again, first impressions. We're not dropping review scores here or any bullshit like that. It's just impression wise from an RPG fan, from somebody who has played a ton of freaking RPGs, JRPGs, Western RPGs, CRPGs, like you and I both have. This is why it's always interesting to hear your takes on this stuff too. Where are you sitting with Avowed? How do you feel what Obsidian's done? Give me some of your positives and then give me some of your early criticisms, per se, if you have any, on what Obsidian has done here with this game.
Oh man. All right. So first impression was, wow, this looks freaking gorgeous. You know, like I've been playing. So just for clarification, and transparency, I've played most of my time on PC. I've also have played on Series X,
Mhm.
in our bedroom, and I've also played on the cloud. So I've played across all three. That kind of how I play a lot of my games these days, right? But most of my time would be on PC, and part of the reason is just loading it up with the bells and whistles of the graphics on this game, especially in ultra wide in this world, is hella worth it because it's smooth. It looks freaking amazing. I mean, the water, the colors, the environment, like just like all of this stuff. And the first impression is just like, wow, like this is, I love the world that they built. Second impression was I immediately got engaged and hooked into the story. So the story and the dialogue grabbed me early on to where I am entrenched and I already knew how I was going to play this character that I built. I made this decision. And usually I kind of lean more towards being a good character, right? Now, what's interesting in this game is by it's seemingly early on, obviously things can turn, but it's seemingly like by playing the good character, you're actually being the bad character. Because I've made the decision early on to kind of I chose the noble, born as a noble, and then you had like falling out or whatever, and then
Mhm.
he sends you on the, so like you're like, oh, you're trying to make it up to the emperor or whatever, and I made the decision, I am going to be a lackey for the emperor, and I am
Okay.
going out there and I am making some ruthless choices towards the people of Paradise that maybe is not in their best interest. I'm turning people in, I'm doing this and that or whatever. And dialogue would lead you to saying, "Hey, that's what you're supposed to do because you're sent there for this purpose," but maybe it's actually morally the wrong thing to do, right? In some of these instances, right? With how it's going. So I love that dynamic of it with the moral gray areas that they put you in and really tough choices. I actually sat on one choice for a while and making a decision, and I was like, man, like my heart is not with the decision that I'm about to make, but I want to make this decision for my playthrough. And I sat there and I was like, oh god, I was having like a little bit of a tug of war, and like, how is this going to come back to bite me, or what's going to happen here? And it's been interesting with the choices. So I love the dialogue choices within the story itself that it's giving me with the side quest and the quest itself. Um, the exploration, I find that there's lots of areas to go check out, and like, hey, go climb up here, you know, and see if you can find something. See if there's anything interesting in those areas. Kind of when you're on a mission in an area, you kind of go off this beaten path slightly and see if you can't find something. I love the exploration in that regard. But I'll say the thing that exceeded my expectations the most is the combat. The
Hmm.
combat
Interesting.
has by far exceeded what I expected from this kind of game, because I'm used to like these games feeling a little bit more slower and a little bit more deliberate and clunky, but the evade mechanic, how fast you can move, how fast you can do your combos, and how quickly you're able to pull up your abilities and your spells, issue commands to your side, to your companions, and all that kind of stuff. I find myself taking on several different enemies at once, just kind of constantly on the move and on the fly. and it's super satisfying. Um,
Can I ask, are you playing normal? Are you playing hard? Are you
I'm
playing
playing normal.
okay.
I've run into
Okay.
areas where I shouldn't be here
Sure.
against these
Yeah,
characters
yeah, there's
yet.
skulls. Yeah, they
Yeah,
notify you. They got the skulls. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, for
And
sure.
then I went into one of those areas after I finally had 2 companions, and I even though I shouldn't have been there, I was able still to take them out, and it was, like, close. You know, I used, like, 15 grenades. I used, like, a shit ton of food. I used a shit ton of heals. I kept having to pick up my, other companions with the godlike ability, with the heal thing, you know, like, but it made it through, and it felt, like, ultra satisfying and fun, but, like, the combat overall has been my most pleasant surprise, overall what I expected and exceeding my expectation. Because I have an expectation of these kind of games, right? With how they're gonna play. And if you played Skyrim or if you played, you know, like Oblivion and stuff like that, you got a good idea of what to expect. But they've ramped it up with this for me to where it's quicker, more fluid, more fun and engaging with the combat. So there's that. Like I'm trying to find like as far as my experience, things that bother me, and there's really nothing like it really bothers me. Now I can point to things that I can say, hey, this would be cool if they improve this, or
Sure.
if this was in the game. And things that I've noticed are missing are some of the kind of classic mechanics or features that would be in this style of game as well, right?
Mm,
Games that this gets compared to, even some of their own games, right? So,
mm,
you know, I think the loot, I think there could be more loot on the enemies, or more satisfying loot on the enemies on the enemy drops.
sure.
Sometimes, like there's just you'll take out like 10 enemies, and there might be like 4 of them that have something on them, and it might just be a couple coins or whatever, and some of them have maybe something else or whatever. But it would be nice if like you go through at this area, take out a lot of enemies, if there was more loot that was more rewarding and stuff to utilize that loot for, that you could get. So I think the loot system is a little bit lacking. Overall, the I like the exploration for finding the chest,
Yeah.
and that's where you're gonna find the most satisfying loot in this game, I feel like, and, that's been paid off and very satisfying. Um, the like, I haven't really I don't correct me if I'm wrong, but, like, I haven't really tried this yet, but I haven't just gone into, like, a town and tried slaying people, right? But
Can't.
I haven't yeah, I didn't think you could because I haven't noticed any reaction to other spells that I have cast that might have affected them and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that kind of dynamic world that where just kind of chaos can happen randomly because you fuck up or do something, that's kind of missing a little bit. Um, you know, like the pickpocketing thing we already knew about. There's stuff like that that's, you know, I find that they streamlined this experience, right? They chose specifically things that like, okay, we want to make a specific kind of game, and we don't necessarily need to include these features for the kind of game that we're creating. Now, has it affected my enjoyment of this game? None whatsoever. I because I've actually been so captivated by the story and the gameplay and the exploring that I haven't cared about those other things too much. But it is things that I've noticed, like, okay, this is a choice that they made with this game for specifically for whatever reason not to have in comparison to other games in this genre, either by them or other developers in the past. So that's been kind of glaring in some ways, right? And those are the things I was thinking about the most regarding you and your playthrough because I know how you play a lot of these games and how that was going to affect your experience with Avowed. I've seen a lot of comments on the writing and stuff from some. I personally have loved the writing so far. I like the characters.
Mm,
I've got the dwarf and Kai. I think the dwarf's name is
okay.
Mariune or I forget the name off the top of my head. But I love them. I love the ability to how you can utilize their abilities on the fly. Um, dude, I'm in love with Avowed. Like I am super entrenched and engaged with this game, and it got me engaged and immersed in the hooks of the story in the world from jump. And that's I can't wait to to play more of it. And the
Yeah.
hours melt when I'm playing this. I know I said play like maybe 8 to 10 hours or whatever. I'm not exactly sure,
Yeah, yeah,
but when I'm playing, it's like, man, I wish I had more time. I could sit there and play this
yeah.
game for like 10 hours straight and be completely fine. I'm in love with it.
Love to hear. I love to hear it. Fuzzy Tomato made
Hilarious.
it.
Thank you,
Shout out to Fuzzy too.
E-Ranks.
Fuzzy Tomato dropped in and said that he was surprised more people aren't saying that or noticing that it potentially is the grounded combat that they just learned from and that they, polished. And a lot of it's the same combat. I didn't play enough grounded to tell you one way or another
Mhm,
if that's the case. I would not doubt it. Obviously, being an Obsidian title, I'm sure they learned a ton from grounded because a lot of people love the grounded combat. That would make
mhm.
total sense. It's a good point though, Fuzzy. Uh,
Oh, I
and
forgot to mention my build
yeah.
too. So
Oh yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Go ahead.
so I started off, classic sword and then pick up a shield, and
Yep.
I was having fun with that. Then I got the grimoire, right? And I was lucky enough to find a greater grimoire early on, but then I had to wait till I got to level to where I could rank up enough to be
Yeah,
able to
level
use that
5.
one. So I
Level
had the
5.
level 5 spells.
Was that the one with the fireball
Yeah.
and
Yep.
yeah.
We got
Okay.
fireball, got the ice shield, and blizzard and lightning that hits 3 enemies, right? So I
I'm
got
almost level 5, so I haven't
yeah.
quite opened that
So I got that one. And if you go to your menu, you can also cast some of your lower level spells also, like if
one.
you open the radio menu. Um, so I'm using the grimoire with an axe.
Okay.
So I got
Cool.
I got an axe in my other hand. Now
Yeah.
I've picked up numerous other weapons, right? But the axe was the one that I had the most fun with because if you get into the chain of like combos, it's still fast enough to where you can kind of fight guys off, but the stun
Yeah.
impact that it has to you can just keep knocking a guy amongst their head and it just go bang bang bang. It's freaking hilarious, man. So I love that. I love some of I love the animations with that. That's kind of my like, hey, get off of me, bang, and I'll rush back or I'll charge forward to finish them off,
Yeah.
And the for the secondary weapon, for a secondary thing, I'm using a rifle. Instead, I was using a bow and arrow, but I switched to the rifle, but for a bigger impact. So like
Sure.
sometimes if I'm like running low on um essence or whatever, I'll use the rifle to finish off an enemy that's fighting engaging with one of my companions, or I'll start the battle that way, get a nice headshot with a charged up rifle shot, and start it off there. But yeah, man, I'm loving it. I love freezing people and
Yes.
then bashing them with
Cool.
the axe.
Sure.
It's
That's
fun
freaking
as
awesome.
hell.
Hey, shout out to Steel Rain dropping in here. No Steel. I'm just about to start my side of things. I'll let Mav go first, and Mav is obviously loving the hell out of it. So I have not talked about it yet, Steel. So if you want to, if you're just jumping in now, brother, yeah, get ready. I'll be talking about it here in a second. Pray Grasso, by the way, Pray, it is amazing to see you. I hope you and Tony are doing absolutely wonderful. I haven't seen you jump in and chat in a while, but great to have you here. And again, say hi to Tony. And shout out to Decado, of course, the one and only Decado jumping in here. Shout out to Verg Brizzle, who said that this is his game of the year so far. And let's see, anybody else? Everybody seems in the chat. There's a lot of people doing a lot of different. I guess that's a good thing to see because that's exactly how they set up this game. A lot of people doing a lot of different styles with Avowed, which is good to see. But most people, like I said, especially the Xbox side of things, are having high praise for Avowed. Where to begin?
I knew after seeing that I this is gonna be interesting, and so
Yeah,
we'll see how this
yeah.
goes.
And like you said, we haven't really talked to the DMs at all.
No, I just know you, right?
Yeah, you do, you
And
do. I know we know each other, and it is funny sometimes how we pick up on that, and I'm sure Steele's picked up on it too. That's why he asked as well. Obviously, first things first. Again, I'll reiterate that Avowed was my most anticipated game last year, second half of last year. And I was highly disappointed that it had gotten delayed. And it obviously was my most anticipated game out the gate. I mean, again, Monster Hunter Wilds is there, and that kind of stuff was there. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 was high on my list, but once I decided to not jump into that, it was because of Avowed. Um, so, my love for Obsidian is well documented throughout the history of my podcasting as far as when it comes to them and how I feel about them being just they were the baby brother, the step brother to Bethesda and all this. This is one of the most perplexing games I've played as far as personal feelings go in a long ass time. And part of that is because of my hype for this game, right? So I don't hide that at all, right? That's why I kind of mentioned that up front because I think it's important to preface this because this was one of my most anticipated games over the past, year. But this is one of the most perplexing games I've had to, and again, this is just 8 hours, not even 8 hours. It's like 7 hours and close to 8 hours. So this is just first impressions, subject to change as I continue to play this game. There have been overall, this has been good to moments of very good, but no greatness as of right now. So it's gonna be because I don't again I'm not the type again I'm 8 hours in. So let's just do this. Um, Jumped in right out the gate. Character creation. Matt, I forgot to ask you, did you go with any godlike looks to your character at all, or
yeah,
did you
I
stay away from that?
created a check. I don't know if I can change after the fact in any kind of way, because she
Yeah.
looks a little bit like Michael Jackson. After I think I made her a little.
Where'd you pull that at? I gotta
I,
say,
I
you
don't
gotta
know. I made her a
screenshot.
little. I made her a little too pale. I think. Which I didn't get from the character creator, and then with the way the makeup looks and stuff. But yeah, I got
Oh,
these like shrooms on the head that go along
okay,
here. I
okay.
got some stuff on the eyes, not like to cover up her eyes like some of them. Then I have
Yeah,
like the dimple marking things, and I got like mascara dripping down her face. Like
yeah.
I kind of went all in on it. I had a blast with the character creator.
E ranks. I'll I'll just say I'll just answer. He asked him, "Would you have preferred a Pillars 3?" I didn't really. I haven't played. I played both Pillars 1 and Pillars 2, but I didn't play enough of them to say that I would have taken a Pillars 3. Like I love them as CRPGs, but again, those games were kind of on the outside looking in compared to the other CRPGs that I've played as far as time that I put into that. I love the lore and the worlds that I got into, especially the first Pillars. I played more of the first Pillars than I did of number 2. I meant to go back and play more of them leading up to Avowed, but just obviously it's been crazy game wise. So I haven't gotten back to them. I eventually will. So it's hard to say. So I'll just say no because I think it's interesting what they did here with this going to a Western RPG, first person / third person style. I think it's interesting that they did this. I love that they did this to introduce more people to the world of Pillars. So I that's a positive. So no, I would say no, just out of here. Corkenstein Bumber for 4 months drops in here. Mav moonwalking all over the living lands. Shamona. Shimona. So all right, first things first. I said I wasn't going to do any of the godlike stuff. They actually did have one godlike accent that I did not mind, where it's just some small crystal-like structures on the forehead for my female. So I did actually go with a godlike, even though I said I wasn't going to do because I thought they're ridiculous. Okay, to me, just out the gates, that's one of the things that I have not liked is the character designs in Avowed, out the gate. And I thought that it's just looking like you just came off the Flying Dutchman from Pirates of the Caribbean. or you got some colorful version of the clickers from The Last of Us, just aren't cool to me. And that's again, all of this is going to be subjective in most ways, right? There's some mechanic stuff that I design choices that I can scratch my head at that aren't necessarily just personal taste. But for me, it doesn't give me cool vibes. Okay, it just doesn't. But I did wind up picking one and actually turned them pink because I went with a dark-haired character this time, which looked really dope. And then I actually made her eyes pink. So I kind of leaned into the lore here a little bit of the Envoy. So they did get me with that one because I was like, at first I was like, hell no, I'm not doing any of this bullshit. Again, I don't want to look like I came off the Flying Dutchman. That's the only thing I could think about. Like at first, when I first saw it, I was like, oh, The Last of Us. And then I started looking at all the designs and how I was like, shit, this is the Flying Dutchman from the Pirates. I'm like, I'm not doing this, bro. I'm just not. So I did just start there. Introduction right away. My early feeling as I was playing through kind of the tutorial. Number one, I was irked that they didn't let you pick your weapon out the gate. Okay, I understand the decision, but I don't understand because I went with Court Augur, right? And Court Augur is your mage-based background, right? You're the right hand, and you're kind of devious, right? And instead of giving you a wand or a grimoire to start out, they make you and force you take a mace.
For me, it was a sword.
Right, right. It depends on what you choose for your background.
Oh, okay. Right, right,
Okay,
right.
but it's all melee based.
Right, right,
They
right.
don't let you start with any magic up front. Okay, listen, this is a role-playing game. I understand the decision because of how they laid out the tutorial. But if you're going to create a real RPG where you're going to give, and you have talked about, and again, they do in a lot of ways, the player, right, choice and freedom to play how they want to play, limiting me out the gate, again, it just starts off on the wrong foot first impression wise for me for an RPG, especially after at this point in 2025. And we have so many RPGs that have come and gone at this point, not letting me choose right out the gate and forcing me, shoehorning me into playing melee out the gate just so I can learn attacks. Right away, I was like, oh, okay. All right. Well, this is how we're going to start. Okay. I guess I got to get through this. And then as I played through, I started coming to realize that and this is going to be a blank statement right now. I am playing on hard, by the way. So after watching Steel do ultra hard, I forget what that level's called, and watching people play normal, I was like, I got to do hard because normal looked way too easy. And I was like, I don't want to necessarily be just a flat out cakewalk. I like getting to a godlike status, but I don't necessarily like a cakewalk out the gate. So I was like, I'm going to do hard and give myself a little bit more challenge to start. So that's what I did. I realized early on that this is a starter RPG, and that is fine. I don't have a problem with that at all. Like, again, if this is what Obsidian and this team wanted to make, that's fine, right? It is a RPG made to allow the maximum number of people in, and we've talked about this. A lot of the industry is doing that now. This is an RPG light to me. Okay, this is like your Fallout 4 to Fallout 3 kind of thing. They have I heard, when you were talking, Mav, you were talking about how they kind of stripped away some of the things. They It's done on purpose, all
Yeah,
right? And
for
that's
sure.
cool. That's cool. But that initial starting point and kind of feeling that out and then looking at the skills and I was like, okay, now I got to adjust a little bit of what I'm playing. I got to adjust my thought process on what I'm playing here. This isn't going to be a deeper type RPG outside of choices, right? And story, which again, narrative and that kind of stuff. This isn't going to be that type of experience. They're going to give me lots of options, but again, personally, and again, these are my personal things. I don't want to play with guns. I don't want to play with melee if I choose to be a wizard. The fact that you can do that is cool. Like I've watched Steel play and combo off of all the different things you can do. I love the switch on the fly loadouts. They work flawlessly. That is fantastic. But for me personally, I grew up in a world where mages are mages and they can't pick up a sword and be efficient with a sword because they spent all their damn time learning spells. It's just the world I grew up in with high fantasy, right? It's just me thing. So I have attempted, and I did play around because obviously the whole intro tutorial lets you play with pretty much a lot of different weapons and stuff and mix and match and all that kind of stuff. I've done that. It just doesn't feel right to me when I do it, and I don't like using the other weapons. So I've settled into Wand and Grimoire, and I really don't switch out anymore because it just doesn't feel right, and I don't enjoy it. It just doesn't feel good to me because I chose the fact that I was going to play this RPG as a wizard, right? As somebody who was going to be a wizard. So those are some of the first things. Now, the combat overall has felt good. It felt the way that I thought it was going to feel. I think that there is, and again, I don't have a problem, necessarily big time problem with this because I played with all sorts of different AI and kind of shit. There's some bullshit, especially on hard. The way the enemies have a super long
Yeah,
distance
they're accurate
and
as
they
hell.
are they are lightning as they are lightning quick. Like that takes a while to get used to. Would I prefer it to be different? Yeah, I'd prefer it to be different. That's fine. But I think overall the combat does live up to what I saw, which is a very smooth experience. Again, I have swapped on the fly, doing that kind of stuff. I think that's great. And for people who are using that to their advantage and obviously leaning into that and customizing how they're playing this game, hey, kudos. It is very well done. I think Obsidian should get should get their flowers for what they did with the combat system here. For what they are going for, it works and it works really well. So shout out to that. Um, Writing out the gate. Now not every game for me, there are plenty of games where I just don't care about the writing. It could be the worst writing ever. It could be the greatest writing ever. I just don't get into the story like that. And I don't get into the lore like that. So I just don't care. This game, I actually was very interested in the story, and I'm very interested in the lore from what I played through Pillars. And they've done a lot to tie back into the lore. They've done a lot to write here, just like in Skyrim, just like Bethesda does. So like Outer Worlds, Outer Worlds, I really wanted to, I'm getting into the story. So I am paying attention. Well, when you pay attention to this story, there are some just things where I'm like, the 1 minute, it's really, really good. And then the next minute, I was like, what are we doing? Like, this doesn't make any sense. But again, that's a me thing. Like, not everybody's going to pick up on it. Not everybody's going to care the way I do. But early on, I was starting to see some points, and especially in responses and choices to make in the conversation, I was like, okay, all right, hit or miss. But some of it was really good. Again, there was times where I was already smiling. So, and the first decision that they give you really early in the game is a good one, but it is nullified by the fact that you're not allowed to kill an NPC. And right there was the first time where I was like, yeah, I gotta get used to this. Can't kill an NPC out the gate. Okay. And if I make the opposite choice, if I make one choice or whatever else, okay, it really is not gonna. It might matter down the road, but it's not gonna matter in the grand scheme of things. And I can't make the ultimate decision if I wanted to just wipe that NPC out of the game. Okay, fine. So we got open into the open world, Mav, and let's talk about the open world. Exploration is fantastic. Rewarding exploration is one of my biggest things. You guys know this. I talked about it before I even played Avowed. From what I had already seen, from what everybody was saying, the exploration was already great. Firsthand, the exploration is freaking fantastic. They did an absolutely amazing job of giving you risk reward to go explore. I can't tell you how I've told you guys how much it means to me in these types of games. And Obsidian, this is a much bigger world than I think that even people were able to describe, even though there were people going, when we say this is not an open world, these areas are still really big. And I was like, okay, but I was used to Outer Worlds big.
Mhm.
These spaces, Mav, like just in the opening, are massive.
Yeah,
They,
it's big.
they're, and it's not just what you see; it's what you can find that increases the sizes of even more. Like there's a part before I get to Paradise, and I've truly not. I'm right now around Paradise. I haven't gone into Paradise yet because I'm
Oh,
exploring all around. Okay,
okay.
I'm exploring all around.
Interesting. Okay.
You because that's why I'm only level 4. I'm almost level 5 now, but
That
that's why.
just story-wise is interesting.
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
where
and
you're at. Alright.
again, all this is subject to change. But exploring, I thought I had been done, and then I thought I had done this major portion of the map because I was looking at the map and I'm like, "Okay, I got it, like, all filled in." It's, like, all colored there, like, "Oh, that's cool." Love when maps do that, by the way, when they do that whole thing where they actually show. But then I accidentally turned a corner and I'm like, "Wait, what's up there? I haven't seen this shit yet. What is this? Why do I see enemies up? What I thought I cleared this shit out. What am I looking at?" And then I found my way up and I was like, "Oh." And then it opened up into a whole tower. I was like, "Hmm, okay." And sure enough, the tower was filled with shit and loot and good shit, unique items. Found unique, been finding unique items out the gate. Love that shit. So, yes, the exploration, the verticality, the size of the world that I'm exploring right now. First impression, Obsidian knocked this shit out of the park, bro. They knocked that part out. And I gotta say, like you, Mav, yes, I would like to find more loot on the enemies. I think that that is something that they should have probably changed. I get some of the decision, but I think they should have changed it. But the loot that you do find elsewhere, Mav, some of those unique pieces, by the way, if you are paying attention to the story, some of those unique pieces, and this is something not very many RPGs do, but if you read or watched movies of high fantasy, unique named pieces have a background story in a lot of high fantasy. Like they came from somewhere, right? Some of these unique loot pieces actually have a background story to why they are named what they are and their powers. I've already found a piece just like that. And if I had not been reading like the notes left around,
Mhm.
it would not have clicked with me that that unique piece had a background story. I would have just been like, "Oh, okay, it's just a unique piece. Cool. Awesome. What does it do for me? Great." But because I had been reading everything, I was like, "Oh, you just tied some loot into this little story that I've been reading." Yo, hats off Obsidian. Again, the old D&D guy in me, right? The old tabletop player, the old ferocious reader who has read a ton of high fantasy books, a ton. I couldn't help but smile. I could not help but smile by the small detail. So hats off Obsidian there, 100%. Not stealing, not being able to steal, is a problem. Again, it's already irking me that I can't do it. However, I gotta say, having fooled around with the stealth mechanic in this game, it is it is okay. So having a stealing mechanic, I don't know how much I'll try it out in the. I can't imagine how well they would have done it in the first place. So maybe they didn't have anybody who was strongly suited to do a theft mechanic and why they kind of shied away from it. This being the first game ever that Obsidian has, I could see why. I got to point out one major AI issue. And again, AI doesn't usually bother me. Dumb or ultra smart, I really don't care too much about AI for the common enemies. But I will say, one of the mainstays in Western RPGs is if you are completely hidden and you hit an enemy with a silent weapon such as a bow, which is generally considered silent, from, I don't know, 50 to 100 yards away, every enemy in that area should not be alerted to you while you are still hidden. Oh, that to me is dumb as shit, and I'm like, "Come on, guys." come on, that's stupid as hell, and have my companions go in. Um, so I'll just point that one small thing out. So far, Kai does nothing for me. I don't care if he's Garrus. Listen, I think I saw somebody say who wouldn't want to travel with Garrus. Uh, I was never a Garrus fan. Oh, shocker. Like he was cool and he was fine, but the massive amount of love for Garrus and Mass Effect over the other characters absolutely kills me every single time. I kind of get the female side of things, right? Obviously falling in love with an alien, right? I again, I totally can be cool with that, like fall in love with the alien women in Mass Effect is dope. But Garrus just overall, while a great, I forget the dude's name too, by the way, forgive me, that does the voice. Awesome actor. Again, I have zero problem with the acting. The acting's awesome. But yeah, no, just because he's got Garrus's voice, and I saw Steel point this out, doesn't mean it's shit. And Kai right now is more annoying than anything. And from the other playthroughs I've watched of people, the companions, the fact that I can't travel alone in this game is also a me thing. I can't stand it because I really don't want any of these companions right now that I've seen so far. And I think I've seen all the companions, and they're all, again, design-wise, not cool. Not cool characters to me. They're not Mass Effect characters. They're like, I'm picky with my companions who are going to travel with me, and Kai, not doing it, bro. Not doing it at all. And he's more of a nuisance than anything. And hearing his constant talking and having to talk to him in camp is just more annoying to me than anything. I'd just rather be able to travel this game alone. And that's, again, a me thing. I do it. I've played 300 hours in Starfield and still don't travel with a companion. They're all left. Okay, they're all left. Outer Worlds had some really cool side characters. I left most of them behind. I would be, depending on the side missions and the quest I was on, I would pick and choose one that would come with me, maybe. And they had some decent characters, right? So for me, that's just another thing that I'm like, this is again, it's just it's gonna be subjective, right? It's gonna be totally subjective. It's just out the gate, I was like, come on, man. I thought this was gonna be kind of cool, and it's not. Whatever. So combat again, great. Graphically, man, you talk about the graphics. I played about 5 hours on the Xbox and about 3 hours on PC. Xbox performance, I'm playing on VRR on the OLED, right? So I'm in the 40 range. Are there times when I can tell it's not 60? Yes, there are times I can tell it's not 60. But for the most part, zero issues. I haven't had any problems so far in my first 7-8 hours. No problems there. It's fairly good looking through the Series X. You can see the Unreal Engine 5. The problem is that once you pop on a PC that can run it, like Mav said, like the difference, Mav, between like Starfield, there was definitely a difference. This game is pretty close to night and day detail wise. Like on Epic with the ray tracing on now, oh no, it's Alex said that he is having a lot of stuttering. It must be one of those things that I just don't notice. I just
Yeah, I
don't
haven't
notice
had
stuttering.
any.
It's something that people are complaining about on the PC version. I don't deny the PCMRs out there who do this stuff for a living and they play on PC all the time. Okay, it probably does stutter. I don't notice it. But what I do notice, Mav, is the detail everywhere on the OLED. Yes, I'm using FSR 3 to run it at Epic with ray tracing on. But would I do that at 4K on the OLED? The level of detail is ridiculous. It is gorgeous. The other thing is on the Series X, the thing I notice is that I do have to, depending on the area and time of day, I feel like I need to go in and adjust the gamma all the time because there are times where I have the gamma adjusted, but then, like I said, I go to a new area or the daytime changes. Yes, there is a day-night cycle. I saw some people claim there was no day-night cycle out here. And then they said it takes so long that you'll rarely ever see it. I don't know how you guys people play Western RPGs, but I'm in areas for hours. So yes, I'm seeing the day-night cycle. Anyways, there are times where the day-night cycle will continue to go forward, and all of a sudden everything kind of looks washed out, Mav, on the Series X. And I got to go adjust the gamma down to bring back the colors because this game is ultra colorful. ultra
Yeah.
colorful. So that's the only other thing about the Series X I noticed that on PC I wasn't having a problem with was adjusting the gamma because of that color difference. And that I was really no it was like almost there was times where it almost go pastel in areas and I was like, "Yo, this is not. No, no, no. This is bright, vibrant." But graphically, the game is a showpiece. They did a nice job. Now, it's going to be subjective on the art style whether or not you like it. For the vast majority, I love it. Again, character design, I'm not loving right now. And there are some areas where it's like, oh, what happened here? Like this doesn't look quite as detailed or good as the other areas. That's just stuff, little stuff I've noticed. I've said a lot to say that I am still enjoying myself within this world. I think Obsidian, this is obviously, again, subject to change. My first 7, 8 hours in, first impressions. This is nowhere near Obsidian's best work. Okay. It's not. I right now, Outer Worlds is to me better than this. But is this a very good entry into the Western RPG section? Absolutely, it is. Have I been playing with a smile on my face? Absolutely, I have been. Again, this is a good to very good experience so far. Just nothing great outside of, I guess I could say that the exploration and the loot so far, I guess I would count that as great. Again, I'm giving them bonus points for doing the little details with the loot that I found. That right there, I give them bonus points for that. That is fantastic that they did that. Um, but this is an RPG light. This is not a full-fledged deep RPG. It does have some interesting things that it does do where you can combo, like Mav was saying, freeze them, hit them with an axe, and explode them. We saw that in the previews. I thought that's always cool when they experiment with that stuff. Another thing I don't like, Mav, is locking me out of the skill tree until I pick up a grimoire. There's a separate set of low-level spells, Mav, of poison that I would love to have and I have skill points and I'm up the necessary level, but I got to find the grimoire to open it up. Now, for anybody who doesn't know, the grimoire is a secondary weapon that you can have those spells on command, but you could also use your skill points to permanently unlock a spell so that you don't need a grimoire to cast that spell and you can hotkey that sucker. Like right now I'm using magic missiles out the gate, right? So to me, that's a head scratching design choice. Why do I have to find a grimoire? If I am allowed to permanently open up those spells, I should be able to use my skill points to open up low level spells that you guys have locked away to another grimoire. Because, like you, Mav, I haven't found that other grimoire. I've found the greater grimoire, which opens up the level 5 spells. Okay, that's dope. That's fine. But I want to open up these lower level. I want the poison. I want the corrosion that's there. And it won't let me open it up. So now I'm like, when do I get to find that stuff? It's that stuff that takes away freedom of choice to me as far as playing as an RPG and the role that I want to play that's limiting me down in some ways that I just go, again, it makes it easier for players who aren't used to RPGs to make decisions. I get that. It does, take away some of the complexity so that people aren't so confused. They're not looking at a, skill board like Path of Exile where everybody goes, holy shit, what the hell am I supposed to do here? I get that. And I understand that this game is not a full-blown like advanced RPG and they didn't want to make it that way, and that's okay. But coming from a CRPG background of Pillars, I would like to see some of that complex because Pillars is straight through and through CRPG,
Yeah.
like straight through and through. Like you're getting destroyed. Like that's the thing about Pillars. Like you're going to die. Like that is a case. In this game, I think they just kind of cut that out. But again, overall, I'm enjoying myself in Avowed. I was expecting this to be something much greater for myself than it actually has turned out to be so far. Again, subject to change as I play through. But I'm still having a great time with Avowed. I still have a good time with Avowed, I should say. And I think that overall that they've done a nice job here. This is again Obsidian's B team. So Carrie Patel, this is her first time taking over. They had a transition in this game. She took over after the transition. I'm sure that threw a wrench in a lot of stuff. I'm sure that's partly the delay and all that kind of stuff. The game overall, performance wise, is really so far for me has been good on both PC and Xbox Series X. The jank she was talking about, I'm not seeing the jank. That's why I thought her comments were overblown. So far, I'm not seeing jank. Mav, it doesn't feel janky to me, like at all.
No, they're
Like
definitely
it feels
not.
really
Yeah.
good.
It's actually
You
one of the
know,
best like feeling games
yeah,
like this
yeah,
I've ever played, as far as like the scope, as far as the
yeah,
and combined with the polish. And you know what I mean? Like, and
yeah,
I think some of it probably is because they made the decision to streamline some of those things, right? So they can
yes.
focus more on like a quality control aspect in some
Mhm.
facets, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's definitely it hasn't been. Oh, I'll point to one thing I saw. There's one thing
Okay.
I saw, and I was like, "Oh, that's a mistake, or that's like a little awkward." There was a floating tree,
Mm.
and
I haven't seen anything yet. Yeah.
it was pretty early on in an important area that was right next to a house that was part of a side quest.
Okay.
And so it was like right next to the house that was part of a side quest. So you know they had attention to that area, but for some reason there was a tree there that's just there's three trees together, and the middle one's like 3 feet up off the ground. I was like, oh, that's a little wonky. I wonder if they how they let that pass. I mean, that's like you can super nitpick to like ever say anything about something like that, but like that's
Yeah.
the only thing I saw so far at all that's been like, "Oh, that's interesting." The only other
Yeah.
issue I had is I did have 2 crashes on PC.
Okay.
I had one when it
Yet.
was loading in once to, when it was doing the shaders and stuff, and
Yeah.
then right after that, when I was playing it, when I went into the open world, I was in a kind of a newer area, and I was like running really fast and stuff, and then immediately after that, and then since then, that was the only 2 times that that's happened, right?
Okay.
But yeah, I had that, and that happens with new PC games all the time, like after launch. So I
Did it
don't.
happen after the patch that they just dropped, or was that before the
It
patch?
was yesterday, like
Okay.
around like 7, 8, probably somewhere
I think it
around
was
that
after the
time.
patch. I think the patch was live at that point, so you probably had the update. But yeah, because they already dropped the patch and they fixed a lot of stuff. They dropped a
Right.
day one patch and then they dropped another one. So I yeah, overall I haven't had any issues. On Series X or a PC, I haven't really seen anything outrageous. Um Yeah, I don't, Be Nice says, I think it's a great game. I don't want it to be Oblivion, Kingdom Come, Baldur's Gate, Skyrim, Elder Scrolls. I want it to be what it want to be. Trying to compare. Yeah, exactly. I'm not comparing it. Be Nice. I stay away from it. I've already seen the videos out there. And Steel actually DM me one on people comparing it to old like Oblivion and stuff,
Yeah,
and like
Skyrim,
some of
yeah.
the physics that they don't have in this game that have been around for a long time. Would I love all that to be in this game? Absolutely. I the only way I'm comparing it here, Be Nice, is to Obsidian's other RPGs, right? Specifically, Outer Worlds is probably the best example, right? And I think this game is obviously in some ways a step up from the Outer Worlds, but I also think that they took away some things out of this game that actually would have put this game on the next level had they kept what is normally in Obsidian type RPGs. Um, they would have, but Steel and I kind of had a back and forth. I'm sure he and I will talk more on Saturday about this too. It's not I don't want them to be Bethesda either, and they've never said that they wanna be Bethesda. Obsidian's done their own thing this entire time. Do I want them to push themselves? Yeah, like I said, I want them to do one big giant open world game at some point like a Bethesda because I think they could pull it off. I would love to see it, but they are truly masters of this smaller type Western RPG that they've created, and they truly are up there with the greats when it comes to narrative, character building, choice and consequence, that kind of stuff. They truly are up there, and I want them to continue to maintain to do what they do best. It's just some of the choices in this game and some of the stuff that I have seen that is lacking. They've done better in other games, so I know they can do it. And like I said, it's fine that they made this an RPG light, a starter RPG in my eyes, close to a starter RPG. I wouldn't say this is the most basic of RPGs, but I would say that it is definitely a light RPG. Um, it's fine that they did that because I It's fine from the standpoint that I understand business in this day and age and video games is trying to grab the bigger audience. Again, to me, I think why some of the games like Baldur's Gate 3 thrive and go beyond the normal success of what you would expect from a CRPG is because they don't try to do that. Is because they lean into what they are and they actually try to be real more complex and more hardcore. And that actually attracts a lot of people these days. Like that's why the Souls genre has become so big and popular. So I think sometimes when you try to do it this route, I think you don't you don't grab actually the audience that you think you're going to grab and you leave some meat on the table. But that's okay. Again, I don't have a problem with that. I'm not that dude who goes, "Oh, this is not the RPG I wanted. This is not a Bethesda. This is not Skyrim. This is not any. I'm not playing this game." Oh, hell no. I'm finding a hell of enjoyment out of this game. Like I said, the exploration is freaking awesome. It's freaking dope. The loot already is dope. The fact that I can choose to not use other weapons and limit myself to a mage, that's something that I'm adjusting to. For my own self, so that I feel like that I'm playing more like that classic style RPG. So there's things that I'm doing myself to adjust to this game. There's just some things I wish that they might have chosen differently to give a full-fledged RPG experience in my eyes of what I'm used to when I walk into a Western RPG. That's all. But again, I'm not going to compare it to anything else, and I don't think that it should be compared to a Skyrim. Like I saw people still doing this whole. I thought this was going to be a Skyrim's killer. What? Nobody fucking ever said that. That was like the guess when they first showed the first trailer and it was super dark. And we do know they probably changed the style. We do know that this game was changed from a multiplayer to a straight single player game. So we do know there were some massive changes done to Avowed. But everybody jumped to that conclusion when they saw that opening, that first teaser that we got that was super dark, looked much more realistic graphically than what we've gotten in this so far. And I think that was rightfully so. They might have been going for a Skyrim experience maybe at that point, but they obviously changed and they went and did their own thing. And I'm happy that they did. And again, by no means that I'm saying this game is mid, like a lot of people are saying. I'm not that guy either. I think this game is definitely a good RPG. I'm just waiting for the greatness for me personally to go, damn, this is great. Again, exploration, I probably would say. I have had my moments already going, okay, they crushed the exploration. Like this is what I'm talking about. Finding meaningful loot in deep, you know, way up high, you know, the dilapidated towers, right? That is high fantasy through and through. Like finding my way up or finding a secret hidden cave, like that's the shit. Or walking into a cave knowing full well that you're gonna have to beat off some type of pause,
Hey,
not beat off.
hey, hey.
Hey, you're gonna have to beat some massive spider right at the end of taking out all the little ones. Like that is all there. And I love that shit, right? I love that shit. And like Matt said, being able to walk into an area you're not supposed to be in, I love that too, right? And trying, because I did try. I walked into a bandit camp early on that was giving me 2 skulls on the leader and 2 skulls on one or two of his henchmen. And I tried. I did a whole backstab trying to see how far I could get him down, see if I could whittle him down. Trying to see if I could find a cheese spot to cheese the dude. No, on hard I couldn't. I couldn't because I couldn't take too many hits and I would run out of potions. And so yeah, I went around that area. I killed a couple of the easy ones and then went around that area, and I'll come back to that area. So all that's good. All that's really, really good. Obsidian did a great job. We will see how the narrative continues. Again, narrative wise, it's been hit or miss for me a little bit. There's some really good writing. There's some zoomerific writing already that it's again, I know I'm just getting old. It is what it is. The writers are getting younger. They're writing for younger crowds. I just like my high fantasy to maintain the high fantasy, and it doesn't in this game. And it's got some weird dialect that I'm like, okay, what are we doing? But that's okay. That's okay. Right now, I still love the story, and I love all the detail that they put into the story, and the lore is all there from Pillars. So all that is really good stuff. So again, just one of the most perplexing games I've had like internal battles with while playing in a long ass time because of what I was so hyped for. And again, that's a me thing. So again, I'm not blaming the game. It's just a me thing. But it's just weird. It's a strange spot to be in, man. Sorry, I was long winded on
Yeah,
that.
and I'm
I
wondering,
got a lot of
like,
thoughts.
where things are gonna go for you on your playthrough as you
Mhm.
advance. Like you said, where you're at now. Like, there's
Yeah,
things are gonna happen. Things, like make
yeah.
you make different decisions and all these other kind of things. And it's like I'm curious how that's going to affect your feelings on some of that going forward. So we'll come back to it when you get
Oh yeah, we'll
further
be
into
talking
the
about this
story
game for
for
a while.
sure.
Yeah.
For me it's like again, like I feel like those things that we talked about as far as this being like leaving some of that stuff out, it was done intentionally, obviously, right? And at first I was curious how much some of that was going to bother me also because I'm very used to playing these kind of games,
Yeah.
but like I've been so sucked into the dialogue and the story
Mhm.
and stuff that I'm appreciating this game for different reasons than I've appreciated other RPGs like this, right? So, like, I'm appreciating the combat more than I have in other games like this. I'm appreciating the graphics, the detail, like the story is super engaging for me so far. I've seen some people complain about the way that you level up your like equipment and your inventory
Mm.
and stuff like that. I haven't had any issues with that. I've actually found it kind
I
of
think the leveling is too slow as well. I do think that as
yeah.
well. I think the XP should be adjusted.
I think they grant a lot of XP for quest and story stuff.
Mhm.
So it would be nice if it was more on enemies, you know?
Enemies as
Yeah.
well, yeah. Especially some of the
So
tougher ones. It's like, yo, really? That's all you're gonna give me for this? Really?
yeah. I like the companions so far. I like the banter between them when we're walking
And
around and stuff.
and that's
Like
cool.
so they
Like a screen person.
like in
Something like
but you know how like some of these RPGs like you'll walk around and they have conversations amongst each
mhm.
other, right? That's what I enjoy more so than anything else, or when they like chime in after I make a decision to let me know how much they hated it
Yeah.
or liked it. However,
Dragon's Dogma 2, the Pawns conversations were freaking
yeah,
fantastic.
yeah, the
I love
same there,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
kind of has that feeling with the way the companions kind of talk and stuff when you're walking around. But like as opposed to some of those other games,
Yeah.
like I don't think there's necessarily an impact to the companions based on your choices other than just their reaction, right?
Right.
Whereas like some of them like may like, hey, I'm out. I'm gonna fucking leave this party
Mhm.
forever. Like in Baldur's Gate 3, you can piss somebody off and they're like, I'm
Yeah.
taking off,
I
or
love that.
stuff like that. But that's fine too. It's cool to know that they're still, you know, there
Ye
along the ride regardless. But the thing I like most so far is just the decision I made about the choices I'm going to make and the character that
Mhm.
I am. I'm
Yeah.
playing into the backstory of it
Yes.
with the decisions and being
And that's
like
cool. I love
this
that.
envoy from the emperor. I'm almost playing it like I'm like fucking like Darth Vader sent by the fucking emperor, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
to go check on this territory that the empire has claimed that the people are like saying no, we don't want to be, but we have to be, I guess. And there's like this conflict there, and I'm there on behalf of the emperor to make sure that everything is good over here. I'm here on behalf of them, but I'm going to make the decisions that serve my master, while internally I still might be conflicted a little bit about it, but I still am serving the good guys, right? But not so I'm playing into this kind of thing there, and it's made it more interesting for me when I'm picking the choices in
Always
the
will when you
story.
do this. Yeah, 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 yeah.
So it's like I think it just mentally, internally, like that's actually helped me with the enjoyment of the story is just trying to
Mhm.
lean into that. And but yeah, again, the combat for me too. I did try before I settled on axe and grimoire, wand and grimoire.
Yes.
I wasn't as
Yes.
fond of the wand. So for me,
I
just
love the
per
wall.
yeah, yeah,
So
like for me, I don't know what it is, whatever. For some reason,
sure.
I just felt like it was
Yeah.
early on. It was a
You
little
have an interesting combination, I'll give you that. Like,
oh
again,
man,
you're gonna
it's
play if you're gonna play around with this game, like I would certainly like if I was into that, that's absolutely a dope idea to have those two
Yeah,
together for
it's
sure.
like Battle Mage is kind of what I'm thinking of. Like back in the day,
Correct.
like whenever I'd play like Neverwinter
Yep.
Nights, whenever you get
Yeah.
it, I'd play really hardcore into one
Mhm.
direction, but then at certain point, you're allowed to unlock like
Yes.
the
The secondary
subclass, right? Secondary
secondary class.
class, and they have
Correct.
like different versions based on the things that you've
Yeah.
chosen that you can
Yep.
choose from. And some of them would be like, Battle Mage or like
Yeah.
Shadow
That's
Dancer or
more
whatever.
high level gameplay when you got a
Yeah.
secondary class. Yep.
And
Yep.
so I've played into it so far with that thinking about this is just who I am to begin with. You know what I
Sure.
mean? And I'm
Yeah.
gonna rock it with my axe and like I I want to try some of the other weapons too, but I'm loving the axe so much. I mean, it's just badass walking around. You got a
You need
book in one hand and a fucking
all
axe
you
in
need.
the other. It's like, hey, come at me if you want to. You know, come at me
Yep.
if you want to. Charge that sucker up. But it's you get these like satisfying combos where you see like the
Mhm.
yellow markers hit
Near
on
the
the
bar.
and it's
Yeah, when
bing
you get
bang boom
yep.
boom 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 and they take them out and yeah. So I'm loving that and like with the playing off of the companions and telling them what to do as far as their abilities has I have been doing that more and more and that's become super fun because I've literally frozen a bear when he's like this like he jumped and was about to pounce and bite me and I frozen him in midair as he's
Yep.
about to hit me
That's
right
pretty
and his
awesome.
claws are there and his mouth's open his teeth there and he's just like and I'm like, "Oh, badass," and I'm just smash his head and stuff tons of times, like, I love the way that all works out
Yeah,
with this
no,
game,
I think,
so
like I said, that the combos that you are allowed to do, and like I saw people finally figure out that you can like freeze water and stuff, and it's just funny when something natural like that to me is like,
yeah.
okay, well, yeah, of course it's gonna. Again, it only takes a second. And I figured that out like right away, right? Early on because there's actually some areas that you can get to if you know
Yes.
that if you freeze.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Again, there's so many spoilers. But yeah, I love the combo, and again, if I was somebody who just felt normal doing that with different weapons and all that kind of stuff. Like I could see, like I've seen people, like again, I was watching Steel switch between things on the fly, and some of the shit he was pulling off was freaking
Mhm.
amazing. It was dope as hell. I think this game allows you that freedom, and that's really cool for the players who want to play that way. Side, just a little side thing too. How I knew that the exploration was going to live up to what everybody it took literally 2 minutes, Mav, for me to know that the exploration was going to live up to what people were saying, because in every opening area, Mav, most of the time, it's your general you're gonna find a couple things, you're gonna find your initial weapon or whatever. This is how all RPGs start, especially with shipwrecks or what are
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
anything. You know what I'm saying? But I always search those areas,
Yeah.
and most of the time, 90% of the time, 95% of the time, I am disappointed. This one, Mav, right out the gate, opening scene, I jumped into the water and dove under the water, and there was a chest down there. And I was like, "Oh, hallelujah. Oh, this is like playing down in Pitfall that you could run backwards back in the
What
day
was
on
in the
Atari."
chest? I didn't see
A
that.
gem. It was a gem.
Gem.
Yeah, there was a gem in there. So, I mean, just one of those ones you could sell to the,
Yeah, I walked
for
around a
gold.
lot on the land, but I
Yeah.
didn't think to go into the
Yeah,
water
yeah.
on the
Oh, yeah, yeah,
beach.
there was a chest in there, bro. I was like, "Oh my god, this is going to be fantastic." I'm like, "I know they're gonna do this, appropriately." That was freaking amazing. There was something else I was gonna bring up, but, no, Brett Bingham, I do not have the porn stash because again, I gotta have my people looking good. I can't do the goofy looking people, so I got my girl looking good. I did, like I said before, I did put the godlike crystals on her head, the small ones. I made them bright pink, and then I gave her glowing pink eyes too. Godlike, I normally would not do that, but I did lean into a little bit of the lore. Like I said in the beginning, they did get me with that. I was like, all right, she actually looks pretty freaking dope. I'll run with this. Like I don't normally do this, but I'll run with this one. So yeah, no, but no porn stashes whatsoever. Um, who else in here? Some people had some really interesting. There was some interesting conversation because people people. Calrate says Battle Mage is always my go-to class. Heavy armor, weapon summoning, and huge AoE magic blast. My favorite character to play. Not how that will work. Not sure how that will work in Avowed yet. It looks like you can, because you can bring down. I'm sure you saw it, Calrate. You can bring down your
Yeah, but that one only says light and medium armor.
Yeah, light and medium armor, but he'll be able to get up pretty close. I mean, he won't be able to wear plate, I guess. But that's still weird to me. Like, I calorie that's still, I like Battle Mage is just weird. When you go full plate and you're casting, I can't do it, bro. I just can't. It's against everything. Decado had said earlier too. We need a Dragonlance game. Yes, Decado, Margaret Weiss, and Tracy Hickman, two of my favorite authors of all time. Dragonlance Chronicles, my favorite high fantasy books. Yes, even above Tolkien, of all time. Dragonlance Chronicles. If they did it appropriate, there is a Dragonlance game way back in the day. It was kind of like a Golden Axe style, I believe. On Sega Saturn, I want to say. But there's also the Gold Box classic old style RPG as well. I think it's not Silver Box, it's Gold Box. RPG as well on PC, which GOG actually has, which I'm going to be picking up at some point, replaying. But yeah, a proper Dragonlance Chronicles set game nowadays, people just don't know because a lot of people haven't read the books. Yo, beyond a different level, man. Different level. That should have been the Star Wars of high fantasy, Dragonlance series. I mean that too, because the expanded universe of Dragonlance is also incredible. It should have been, and it just never got its proper due, because wrong people in charge who just never got it right. But anyways,
we got a couple super chats to get to as well.
Yeah, go ahead.
Why so serious? Hit us with the $5. Says, what's up, guys? If you do side missions and bounties, you get named weapon drops. There's no thief mechanic because you're a god and can take anything. Yeah, that's one thing I did notice when I was like in the shops and stuff. It's like, I can take whatever I want because I am sitting here by the emperor, and that was like a thought in my head, right? But still, the mechanic would be cool to have within towns and stuff like that, just because it creates more of a dynamic environment. But like, it is what it is. Ron G 2665 with the $2. Appreciate you, Ron G. Says 5090 bundle on the way. Thanks, Newegg.
Jeez.
Enjoy
flexing. Jesus.
Yeah. Did you get 3 of them? Just curious. If you accidentally had,
is that it?
Yeah, that's it, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I see a lot of people talking about Kingdom Come Deliverance as well.
God, I want to play.
I'm gonna go play that, bro. The more I see of that, the better. Oh God, it just looks so much fun. You got to be in the mood because it ain't no joke, and they didn't lighten up on this one at all. People said it's just you can't save scum. So if you don't save, you're going to lose hours. Like that's just, you're going to run into the forest or be traveling and think everything's okay. Next thing you know, you got a wild dog on you and it's over with. You're dead. And you're going to lose like 3 hours. Like it's going to be dumb. Like you got to be ready for Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. But my God, does it look so freaking good, bro. It just looks so much fun. Razor Ultron, welcome to the Speculators. Welcome aboard the Speculators Hype Train. Choo-choo, motherfucker. We don't discriminate around here, so thank you for buying the single ticket to the Hype Train. In fact, you got us up to Mach 2.5 with that sucker. So thank you, Razor Ultron, keeping us ad-free in 2025. Hashtag no beans. Your goal. We haven't talked about your goal for February. It's like 6,900 guys.
Wow.
Like again, yeah.
Oh, so low.
We might have to start slanging coffee around here if you guys don't come through with the member goals, man. I don't know what else to tell you.
We can sell Folgers.
Choo-choo, motherfuckers. I hate you pretending sometimes. It's so bad because I think about who I'm riffing off of and just seeing the clips. It's so bad, bro. Anyways, thank you for that, Razor Ultron. Appreciate you so much. It's never expected and always appreciated around here. So you know that. Scum saving is the key, Mac 2022. It for sure. I love save scumming. I don't care. Steel and I got to talk on Saturday because Steele's had some hot takes again this week too. He said he actually put out there, Matt, that he thinks that in a game where there's consequences to your decisions, right?
Mm-hmm.
That once you make a decision, even if you have save scummed, your save should all be changed so that decision is permanent, and you can't go back.
No, he's one of those.
Oh, bro, I'm just like, dude, don't. I don't know why he does this to me. I don't know why he knows the things that irk me, and I don't know why he would even say something like that. This is a fucking video game. If you allow me multiple saves in a video game, I am going to use them to my advantage, and no way in hell you should tell me that I have to keep my decision. If I am smart enough to save scum prior to that decision, why the hell in a video
Yeah.
game should I ever have to
I
have that as a permanent
I've
and not
I've
try some other way?
I've played games before in RPGs where I've made a decision, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I was like, I feel good about it, I think, and then like 8 hours later, I'm like, this has completely ruined everything
Right.
for me going forward. I fucked up this decision so bad. I hate it. I can't live with myself playing this game anymore. And it's actually ruined the rest of the game for me to cause me to stop playing because I didn't save or I saved over my old save and I was like, fuck. And it's like, oh God, I just can't. I can't play because I don't want to play going forward that way. So like it's being stuck with sometimes those like crucial decisions. I understand the point where they want you to live with the consequences, but if
Yeah.
it's a video game and I've already put in like 20, 30 hours into it and I made a decision that I regret and it's going to impact my enjoyment of the rest of the game, I want to
Yes.
be able to change that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
I will go back to before I made that decision that ruins the rest of the experience. I've been in that situation, and it has actually ruined
It's
the experience
right.
for me
And I
sometimes.
just think generally speaking, like you should be allowed to try, especially big games like Baldur's Gate 3. Like where there are choices after choices after choices, bro. If you want to actually go, I don't always do that. Like Cyberpunk, I got my ending in Cyberpunk after
Mhm.
300 hours. I had my save scum. I mean, again, I had my save ready. I could have gone back in and people did. There's actually achievements for each of the endings, right? I could have played those other endings. I loved Cyberpunk and my ending so much. I chose not to go back and look at the other endings.
Yeah,
Like I've seen other people, I know what the other endings are because I've watched the endings themselves. But for my playthrough, not even to grab achievements did I decide to go back because I loved it. That's the memory I wanted of that game. But any game that gives you those choices, like to say that you shouldn't be able to go back and see if you really want to what the other choices would afford you or give you. Yeah, no, man, I
yeah.
can't get down with that. I can't get. Speaking of, how am I going to do this without a spoiler? Because I'm not going to spoil a damn thing for anybody who hasn't played Avowed yet. But early on, Mav, God, how can I ask you this? I'm trying to think. Do you know what decision I'm talking earlier in the game? Not like not that not the first one, but like your first big with the stones, Mav. Right? You with me with the stones?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And they ask you a
Wait,
question.
right. Did you accept or did you decline?
I accepted.
Okay. Interesting.
Right.
I declined.
I was saying I was wondering what would
So,
happen if you declined.
bro. It I'm waiting to see if that's like I think that is a turning point decision because yeah, I mean I'll tell you afterwards what it says, but I think that's a turning point decision. I'm going to be curious how my playthrough now runs and how yours differs and everybody else that differs. So I can't wait.
I think there's something coming up that might
Yeah.
clear that up for, for you potentially.
I don't know, brother. I don't
Yeah,
it
we'll
seems
see.
like permanent. It seems
Because of the
permanent. So
first
it's gonna be
thing,
interesting.
because of the
Yeah.
first thing,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
There, I don't want to spoil it for you.
Yeah.
I
I know.
just
I
you just
know. I
gotta
know.
get
I know. We'll talk.
you just gotta
Mhm.
just go to
I'll
Paradise.
play and I'll see, and then we'll compare notes and see if it
Yeah,
actually is different. Because the way I went, it seems like a permanent. Like, yo, okay,
right.
okay, you want to play this way, okay? Like literally, like I was like, oh, all right, because I chose how I would have chosen.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like I'm not RPGing, like I'm not like specifically my character per se. It's just how I was feeling in the moment. I was like, oh, okay. So this is what we're gonna do. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to do. Fuzzy, I got Fuzzy Tomato. I got the what's considered the good ending or the best ending in Cyberpunk with Johnny and where it ends where she's headed, or my character is a she. So I say she, V, was headed to the space station, right? So I got what's considered the good ending. So but yeah, yeah, no, interesting, man. I can't wait to see how this goes because I do think this was a big turning point for my game. So it's gonna be crazy. Um, yeah, good avowed conversations. Again, guys. Lot to talk about here. Lot to go over. There's going to be more talk about Avowed, obviously, as we get further into it. We do have like Monster Hunter Wilds. I'll be jumping into it next week, day one. So I'll have that to talk about. I am going to be playing Rogue Trader as well. Now that that is in Game Pass, again, don't miss out on that if you are a CRPG fan. Please don't. It is a very, very good first impressions, and you should play that. But yeah, I'm going to continue to play Avowed because I again I like the game. I deleted Eternal Strands was a game that I was playing prior to Avowed coming out, and I said I was going to keep playing Eternal Strands. I'll probably go back to Eternal Strands because I think Eternal Strands does some interesting things. But because Avowed is like the real like Western RPG and Eternal Strands is that action kind of combat game, but kind of the same type of world. I was like, yeah, I'm not going to play Eternal Strands right now. And with like the powers and stuff, I'm like, yeah, no, I'm going to focus on Avowed. So Avowed's going to be my game. I'm mixing some Monster Hunter Wilds, some Rogue Trader in there. Going to continue to play Warriors Abyss, but Avowed is a right now good game to me from Obsidian. And there's definitely the Obsidian bloodline in this game. This is not like not an Obsidian. This is truly an Obsidian game. And now that Mav and I just had this conversation about the decisions, like makes me want to go and keep playing it because I want to find out how bad it's going to affect my game. So, anyways, good conversation, Matt, and I appreciate you bringing it in. I knew we were going to have some unique takes, different kind of perspectives on this game, and I'm happy that we had that talk. And a lot of people, Spartan says I had to save every romance. I had a save to romance every single character in all Mass Effect games. That is dedication, right there. That is dedication. And Andrew Cullen says, my Cyberpunk ending was the dumbest ending to a video game I've ever played. That sucks. I know some people really did not like the Cyberpunk endings. Some of them. And I was not happy with relationship wise what happened in my ending. I was actually very sad and very upset. Again, Cyberpunk has stayed with me this entire time. Cyberpunk is one of the goats of all time. And it was from the beginning for me. Truly, CD Projekt Red outdid themselves. I can't wait to see. We're getting little hints about Cyberpunk 2, Mav, and what they're doing over there. They're hiring.
Just don't overpromise this time.
Yeah, no, but that's fine. They delivered. Again, not everybody's going to agree with
like
that.
They were supposed to be multiplayer. There's supposed to be.
Oh, it was supposed to be the multiplayer.
Stuff,
There's supposed to be free DLC. There was supposed to be the tram.
I'm talking about that kind of stuff. Don't tell people it's going to be massive things that are not going to be.
Had they just stopped making the previous gen version, man, early on and said, we are just going to go full next gen, that game would have come out. Holy shit. With all the promise, man. With all the promise. Again, to me, it's one of the GOATs already. But had they nailed the multiplayer in that game, had they had that whole tram working system in that game, had they had the police properly set up like it is now, oh shit, that game would have been a whole freaking different level, man. Oh my God. It could have been the greatest game of all time. Cyberpunk's up there though. I can't wait to go play it now too. I'm gonna do another run because I got to play the DLC at some point. That's gonna be a big run for me, and we'll see how different I play it this time around. Polly Baba, I see you jumping in here. Good to see you. He says I love the bout. Great. Again, there's a lot of people absolutely loving it. Buzz says I usually keep 5 or so saves, keep them from leapfrogging. Then I'll do a hard save every 10 hours or so. Been doing that for as long as I can remember and reverted back to older saves at that. All of us older gamers were taught by different JRPGs and games to do that. That's just how we grew up. That's just the way it was, man. So again, I'll never stop doing it.
Yeah, autosave kind of like changed that for a lot of people. You know what I mean? But like for us that grew up playing like CRPGs and JRPGs,
I don't trust my autosaves.
No, 100% you can't trust your.
I don't. I double save. I'll double save. Like I'll save and then the game, like New Dawn will do this. I'll save in the game and then when I quit out, it says, "Do you want to save your game?" And I'll do it again just to be sure. I don't care.
We all have PTSD from at least one experience, you know.
Yes, it's bad, man. It's bad. Oh, yes. Let's go. That goddamn, that was a good full conversation. All right, Bev. What do you want to jump into next, man? Again, should we talk about Tony Hawk's Pro Skater a little bit?
Yeah, dude. Or so
Bro.
yeah, I think we're on the cusp of something.
Yeah, I think. Well, so anybody doesn't know, it can't. Black Ops 6 of all places in their new grind map. Of course, it's Activision, obviously. So again, all the same company, right? Obviously. But randomly has an Easter egg that people have now found for Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. So they got a skate shop within that map. And when you walk in there, it's got the logo, the Tony Hawk Pro Skater logo, and it says 3/4/25, March 4th, 2025, of course, because this is America and we do our dates the right way. So it's not April 3rd for all you Europeans. This is March 4th, 2025. And Tony Hawk himself, under Charlie Intel's posting about this, because everybody was posting about this once it got out. Tony Hawk himself posted on X the eye emojis underneath Charlie Intel's post, all but confirming something's happening March 4th, 2025. Mav and I were talking about this in the background. And so, Mav, I never got the remakes of Tony Hawk 1 and 2. I've been waiting for them to drop into Game Pass. I thought they were going to drop early. I thought this was going to be one of the easiest ones that they had. Again, I'm very disappointed with how they've handled the rollout of ABK's back catalog. I think it's bullshit. I think they're stalling on purpose. I think they're going to raise the price of Game Pass. We're not going to talk about that now, but I think Speculation Town, they're going to raise the price of Game Pass Ultimate, and then they're going to drop a lot of the back catalog in there for increased value purposes to sell you on the price increase. Again, this is business. It is what it is. Big business don't give a fuck about my feelings about what I think should have happened. I just think the promise to give us the back catalog could have been kept a lot sooner than it has. And I don't like it. But anyways, I was expecting Tony Hawk, the remake, to come out 1 and 2 to be in my Game Pass, and I was going to play it then. I'm a huge Tony Hawk player from back in the day. Me and the boys sitting around, we played for hours on end trying to outdo each other on scores, etc. Like, again, Tony Hawk is a classic. So I can't wait to play it. But there's also rumors that they are working on a new Tony Hawk as well, Matt. That kind of went out there. Tony Hawk himself, I think, was in an interview, and he said, "I can't really say anything, but keep your eyes open. Guys might be happy very soon," or something like that. So, man, March 4th, 2025, right around the corner here. We're 2 weeks away. What's your guess on this? Because we don't have a show around that time that we're aware of, right? There's no we just had the Xbox Direct.
Yeah.
So we're not expecting a show. As Tom Warren pointed out, because he thought that this might happen during the showcase, and he said, well, this is not the showcase time at all. This is well before the showcase time. What do you think is going to happen March 4th, 2025 with Tony Hawk? If we assume that this Easter egg is obviously loud and clear, there's going to be something.
Yeah, I mean, so a couple days ago, also Stein on Twitter,
Yeah.
social media guy for Xbox, right?
Yeah.
Posted it's gonna be a good day. He was at Activision. Took a picture of
Oh,
that.
I did see that. I
Yeah.
forgot about that. Yeah, you did.
So if it kind of just like, I think there's news coming for this. I don't know if they're gonna drop it on that day or whatever, but obviously I think people are preparing for something at Activision to be announced or dropped or whatever. As well as I've speculated on this a couple times because of the comments that were made before from Tony Hawk, that something was coming soon, that people should be excited soon, and that the 25th anniversary was coming up and all that kind of stuff. So if you look at the date that was on the Call of Duty map, which has led to a lot of this speculation, 3/4/25. Well, that date would mean a lot if you consider the 25th anniversary, and then 3 and 4 being Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 and 4, remastered, remake. I played the 1 and 2 remake. I think it's more of a remake than a remaster. I think it freaking plays like a brand new game, looks amazing, plays amazing. Feels amazing. It's a blast from the past. New features, new mechanics, but also just capturing the old school fun of Tony Hawk. So I think this next one is going to be 3 and 4, and on probably dropping on that date as a remakester, kind of like the first one. And I'm curious if they will also announce a brand new one at that time to get people excited, and maybe something for 2026 or 2027 or whatever for the future of the Tony Hawk franchise. I think it's out of ABK, one of the most interesting franchises because it's kind of been one that's been in ways dormant, but still holds a lot of value. And the 1 and 2 remaster, I think, did pretty damn good. So I think they have something there. I do kind of agree also on the Game Pass stuff, like as far as the ABK library. I'm curious some of the other games we're gonna eventually get those, but yeah, I think 3 and 4 remakester coming up on March 4th, 2025. And I'm curious how it's going to look like if it because 1 and 2 were already great. Like, is this going to be even another step up? Because this will be the first one released under the Xbox umbrella. So that should mean Game Pass day and date, as they've already said before. All the ABK games will be going day and date to Game Pass. But is there new skaters, new music? Like new content. If they do it just like the 1 and 2, that's cool too. Because I thought it was excellent. But I think they could even go a step further. So yeah, I'm pumped, man. 3 4. I think 3 4, 2025. The combination game like 1 and 2, plus maybe also an announcement of a new game coming in the future.
Hmm. Yeah. I'm kind of torn here because the rumor was that 3 and 4 was going to be announced at the showcase, right? That's like Tom Warren said.
Yeah, but
Um,
it's like why would that be in Black Ops? You know, the
right.
date. Like it's got to mean something. 3 4 twenty twenty
Right, right,
five
right. Yeah, no, no, and that makes
as a
sense. The
date.
3 4 25, correct. That makes sense.
I mean, what a cool
I'm not,
release date to have if that's true, because 25th anniversary, 3 and 4, right?
so you think they're going to drop 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 all
I think
together?
1 and 2 is already in Game Pass. Is it
Is
not?
it?
I thought they already added it.
I
The-
thought they did. Really?
I'm
Did I
not
miss?
sure.
I've been waiting
I
on that.
thought
I
there
thought
was news that they had done it. Did they not do it yet?
no, because I've been waiting on it. Okay, if no, there's no way.
Ron G with the $2 super chat says, "Guys, hurry! Get your 5090 new egg. Still got bundles.
I
6,000 is
wish
our
I wish
goal."
I had.
Just kidding.
Yeah, yeah, our goal is with the 12,000, everybody. So I'm
Yeah.
having I get 59s. Yeah, no, it's not in Game Pass yet. See,
Okay, so
that's
maybe they'll
that's
drop those as well.
right.
At the same
I
time.
would think that's what I was thinking. Like I was thinking that this would be 1 and 2, and then the
Like
announcement of the
that's.
reboot of the new one,
But
and then they would
you think they would
save the
actually
shadow drop for
tease
three
that in a
four.
map? Just a Game Pass drop?
Well, no, no. I thought they would also announce the new game, whatever.
Oh, okay. Announce
You know
it.
what I'm saying? The
Yeah, yeah,
brand
yeah.
new game dropping 1 and 2, but they would save that shadow drop of 3 and 4 till this June showcase, right? But the 3 4 thing makes sense, like that they're going to
Yeah.
do that, but I can't imagine they're going to drop them all together. So they're going to give us 1 and 2, and then announce that 3 4 is coming in June. Like
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. Again,
Do
that was
you
just I'm just basing that on the rumor that was out
I
there. So,
wonder
and again, Tom
how
Warren
the
reacting to it.
I know that Activision just owns the rights to the game, but like I wonder how still the licensing with Tony Hawk works, you
Yeah.
know? And if
Well, I think
they're
they had to go back and redo it, right? So they did. I'm pretty
for
sure
what reason?
for the skaters themselves and
Right.
for the song. So because they didn't
Okay.
get all the soundtrack, right? I think I remember that. I don't remember all the specifics, but I know they had to go back, obviously.
Well, I'm wondering if his how he gets paid, if it's like based on like sales
Mm,
or if it's based on like just a dollar amount, like lump sum, you know?
yeah.
Because I was curious, like just in general, like on a contract that's named after like an individual that has so much involvement with it in the past. I mean, there's even stories how like that game changed his life, where he's talked about it, where they Activision said, "Hey, here's your pay for it." They like gave him like a $5 check at a table, and he was like, "Holy crap!" you know. I'm curious, like if like a Game Pass deal in general would affect anything with the contract actually with Tony Hawk and the licensing agreement of his name with that, or if it's just already all, hey, we own the rights to your name, you're kind of left out of it at this point. And but it seems like he's still kind of heavily involved in some form or fashion. So I am just curious if there's something to that, if why we haven't seen 1 and 2 in Game Pass yet. If and that's just off the top of my head now because I'm trying to figure out of all the games that have already hit, like that's one of the more recent releases because it was this generation, right?
Yeah.
Why that one wouldn't have been in there, and maybe it has to do with licensing stuff and all that, you know. But I don't know, man. Like it's
Corporate
weird.
bullshit.
Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, I'm just curious if he gets paid. Like, does he get paid a
Yeah.
royalty based on each sale?
Right. Who
Because if
knows,
that
right?
was true, then like Game Pass would be like he'd be like, fuck that.
Yeah, but I don't think he necessarily controls the IP, right?
No,
Unless they have
no. So
something
I'm just
specifically in
curious
there
how
saying
that
they
all
can't put
works
that on
out.
subscription
Yeah.
service. Yeah. No, I get what you're saying because it would be like from his perspective personally, yeah, it would be shitty if his whole royalties were based upon sales and all of a sudden they're dropping into a subscription service. Like, yeah, that would be kind of shitty.
Yeah, so it's just interesting, because it's like different than like you know cars and all that. I think they just get kind of like a base licensing fee, right?
Yeah. Calorie says he got a lump sum, but royalties on top. And Activision and him didn't expect there to be royalties, but the game blew up and he got millions of the first game. He did an interview about it. So he must
Yeah,
he
that's what I
must
was
get
talking about,
something.
where they gave him this check and he was like, "Holy crap!"
Yeah. Yeah, Hawk received a $4 million royalty check after the release of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. Hawk turned down a 500,000 buyout offer for the future royalties of the game. So yeah, maybe they did have to negotiate with him on what they were going to pay him if they were dropping into a subscription service. I don't know how that worked. I don't know how that blocks
Yeah,
from a personal contract. It'd
it's
be
just that's
crazy
just
to
off the
hear that.
top of my head with thinking about it
Right.
because it's
Yeah,
a, it's a
it's a good
unique
point.
it's
It's a
a
great
unique
point.
situation a little bit,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. No, totally. You're absolutely right to bring that up. I would be curious to know how that would possibly work out. Um, yeah, I don't know. Whatever's going to happen, though, I know for a fact, or at least I'm going to assume for a fact that we are getting 1 and 2 into the subscription service, into Game Pass. That would be freaking dope.
Yeah,
So, because again, I want to go back and play. I do. Not that I've spent a ton of time there, but I do want to go see what they did because everything I heard was that they did a phenomenal job. So again, nostalgia being what it is for me, I always love to go back and try and see if it still hits. So, it looks fun as hell. Um, let's see, Mav.
I'm curious. If, you remember the Tony Hawk game that had the skateboard that you stood on? Was it Ride? Tony Hawk
God,
Ride?
Jesus, Ride. Was
D-
was
Does
that actually Tony Hawk or was that just
yeah,
Ride?
no, I think there was a Tony Hawk game where you had like a skateboard.
Mm.
I wonder if there's anybody out there that in the chat that ever played that or has that skateboard.
I don't know.
It's something I never
Fun fact.
tried. It's just interesting.
Fun fact is I rode a Tony Hawk board back in the day.
Yeah.
When I was skating. Yeah, yeah. I actually had an actual original Tony Hawk ramp board. So and for some reason my mom kept all my toys, but for some reason my dad threw my Tony Hawk board away. I'm still pissed to this fucking day. I want that board back. Tony Hawk was a shit, man. He still is. He's such a good dude. But yeah, for sure. That would be cool to have that board. I'm sure somebody's out there has got those boards, Mav, because it was around. Skate. Was that Skate, Spartan?
Oh, I'm pretty sure there was a Tony Hawk one. Tony Hawk Ride board. Yeah.
Hmm. Was it? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. I like it. Anybody in the chat got one? Let us know.
Yeah, PS3 era, 360 era. There's a skateboard bundle on Amazon with it for it doesn't have 100. Wait, no, that's not it. It looks pretty cool though.
Yeah, but wasn't
It
it
was on
that
the
it
Wii.
actually it didn't work well at all?
I
Wasn't
don't
that the
think it. I
case?
don't think it did. I think the reviews on it were horrible.
Yeah, or terrible. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I see them all
Oh,
over like eBay and shit for like $25. Pretty cool looking board though.
yeah. Oh, Mac, you were a McGill fan? Oh, my buddy had a McGill board, bro. Seriously, did you have the one? What was McGill's? Was it McGill like oh God, was it a skull and was it a dragon or a snake through the skull? Was that McGill? Well, holy shit! I'm trying to flex memory here. The old guy doesn't work too well. I'm pretty sure that was McGill's though. Tell me if I'm right. I know you'll know, Mac, because you had the board, but
I used God, I don't even. I'm not as familiar in the world of skateboarding and stuff.
yeah.
And 1 and 2, I always used the guy that had the Christ Air.
Oh,
It started with an
yeah,
R.
um,
I wanted to say Ruth, but his name's not Ruth. Something with, and then his last name was a G. Glyph or something. I don't know. But
well,
anyway,
who?
he would put his arms out and spin around, and then you'd have to time.
Okay. So first of all, the Christ Arab, it was Christian Osoy originally did it.
Okay.
And what that was hilarious that you brought him up because I actually had you actually brought that because I had him in my head when I was just talking about Tony Hawk and then Mac was saying Mike McGill and I was running through skateboarders and Christian Hosoi because I had the Christian Hosoi poster because he was well known for not only Christ Air but he was well known for hitting the highest on the pipe. He was known for getting the most air, and they used to have measurement sticks up. That was like a
Right.
big thing. And Hosoi was known for going. And I had the poster with him up in midair with the measurement stick. I can't remember. I think it was like 6 feet above the ramp that he was hitting in the air. That was crazy. So it was funny that you brought it up. But the skateboarder was Rune Glifberg.
Yes. Rune
Danish.
Glifberg.
It was Danish. I had never
Yeah.
heard of this dude outside of remembering him from Tony Hawk, but yeah, he was a Danish skateboarder, Rune Glifberg.
Yeah, his freaking
Yep.
I this guy I always use because I loved using the Christ Air, and he got so much big air in that game, you know.
Yeah,
Rune
yeah, Mac,
Glifberg.
we were on the same page. Christian Hosoi was ridiculous, bro. Too. God damn, man, it was so fun back then. It was so nuts because they were all creating brand new
New
tricks.
moves, yeah.
Yeah, especially the ramp boarders, right? Again, street boarding came along, and I wasn't as big into the street boarding, but I was big into ramp boarding. But man, they were always coming up with new tricks because it was so fresh, and it was nuts. And they would all try to outdo each other. The competitions back in the day, fucking stupid, bro. Just a good time, man.
BMXing was always fun to watch too. That stuff.
BMXing was cool too. I could ride bikes certainly. I just could never do tricks on bikes like my buddies. My buddies had pegs. My buddies had all that shit, bro.
Yeah.
I was just never into it.
My wife's brother
never.
was big into that stuff when he was younger, but I was never. I rode my bike
Mhm.
all over the damn place,
Everywhere.
like all
Yep.
of us did. You know, I mean, it'd be parents wouldn't know where the freak we are. You just miles and miles away. You know, but yeah, I was never into like tricks and stuff. I rode a skateboard a couple times. Tried to, didn't work out for me.
That was our crew, bro. Fuck, my first
Yeah.
skateboard was from Target. Tiki, what was it? Tiki something. It was bright neon pink, of course, back in
Yeah.
the day, with Hawaiian tiki guys on the bottom of it. I still remember it was a cheap skateboard from Target. That was the first one, and then ordered my Tony Hawk board once I got into it. Ordered up my Tony Hawk board, and that was a big deal because it was $125, but you got to customize everything on it, right? So you got to order all the wheels, you got to order the bearings. Like I
Yeah.
had the Swiss bearings, of course. I got to order the rails, all of it, bro. It was such a cool thing, and then have it shipped to you. It was like $125. I still remember it, bro. It was nuts, man. Spartan says Dave Mira. Oh yeah, Dave Mira, of course.
Yeah.
Oh god, you remember BMX Triple X? Remember the video game?
Yeah.
Oh, it was again. I always bring up Dead or Alive Beach Volleyball because it was a great actual volleyball game. Of course, having the waifus in it was amazing as well, but it was a great volleyball game. I forget how they said it. Was a BMX Triple X? I can't remember whatever the hell it was. That game, actually, the BMX riding was really good at it. Of course, you could have basically naked women in riding the bikes too, but the game itself was actually pretty damn good. It's funny, man. Rad was an awesome 80s movie for BMX. Yes, absolutely, man.
Oh, there was also a
There was
great rollerblading movie.
Yep.
Forget who was in it. I think it was called Airborne. Airborne,
Okay.
I think. I had
Skateboarders had a bunch, but Gleaming the Cube was fucking the one, right? Which Christian Slater and Gleaming the Cube was the skateboarding one. That was freaking dope.
yeah, Airborne had I don't even know. It had Shane McDermott and Seth Green in it.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, I remember
Those were
also
rollerblades, huh?
a young Jack Black was in it too. He played one of
Mm,
the bullies. It's
hilarious.
about a kid who moved from California to Cincinnati. And Seth Green was his like roommate or something. Yeah, Airborne was fucking awesome, man. It was great.
Yobi, shout out to Yobi for being here. Legendary. What's going on? And shout out to brother Psychonauts. I see you in here too. Buzz did say pro skater Tyshawn Jones said on a podcast that he was in a new remastered Tony Hawk game and that he was in that last one. This was a couple days ago. I forgot that too. There was a hint that there was going to be, this next game was on its way too from another skater. So thanks, Buzz, for that too. I forgot that had been out there. Oh, all right, Mav. Well,
I hope we get that news soon, man. It'd be cool to just dive into
we will.
another. If that happens, it's another first party
Mm,
game from Xbox this
it is.
year. On top of everything else, which is ridiculous. I
Well,
mean, we
we
still
know.
got South of Midnight coming up. We got
I need
Doom,
I need the Oblivion remaster announced, bro. I
Oblivion.
needed that.
Yeah,
I
that's
need a date
supposed to
for the
happen this
remake.
year.
Unreal Engine 5 Oblivion. I need to see what this looks like.
What do we think? Like, what else is cooking up on the Activision Blizzard side? Because we
Well, we know
never
they got
we already know so much about the Xbox studios and like all the other ones, but like ABK has been like kind of quiet as far as knowing, but we know that they were interested in kicking off other projects. We had other studios get
well, we had the
announced as being
canceled game.
formed.
We had the canceled game, right?
Yeah,
The
but since
Survivor.
then there's rumors that they started a
Right.
new one,
That new
right?
one. And there were the old rumors that there was that first person RPG with BioWare devs and Infinity Ward devs, right? There was that one out there from a long time ago that we had heard about, that we'd brought up. I believe they've got to be cooking on some of the older IP. I got to believe that there's a remake somewhere in there. I got to believe that there's a StarCraft somewhere in there, right? But from like Activision specifically, they are so heavy into Call of Duty and having everybody work on it. It's hard to imagine unless they've split off teams to start smaller projects that they're working on specific new games. I don't know, man. I got to believe that they're going to use some of that old IP though. I got to believe it.
Yeah, I mean we
I gotta
got
believe that Phil wasn't just bullshitting, that he
Infinity
is gonna
Ward split out. It has the other studios. You
Yeah.
got Elsewhere Entertainment. They did
Yep,
that.
they did that.
Um, now you have Tony Hawk's team. Who makes the Tony Hawk remasters? Is it Twisted Bob? Forgot who made one and
Um,
two. Or they license it out, or like report.
I thought
Get
did they license it out to a third party? I could be totally wrong. Maybe it was Toys for Bob, was it? Hold on.
Tony Hawk
Yeah, I get
Pro
apologize.
Skater 1 and 2 remastered developer. Um, I don't know. Chat?
Come on, it can't be that hard. It is Vicarious Visions.
Okay. Is that one of their studios? Or I don't think that is, right? Or is that
Yes, it is.
okay.
It's actually Blizzard Albany, formerly Vicarious Visions.
Okay. Wow,
Yep.
Blizzard?
Yeah,
A Blizzard team did it?
In January 2021, Vicarious Visions became a part of Activision's sister company Blizzard Entertainment and merged into it in April 2022.
Wow, I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Mhm. Yep.
It doesn't say Blizzard when it starts, I don't think.
Blizzard Albany. So maybe they started when did that launch? When did that release?
Bum, 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 bum. I have no fucking clue. It was earlier this gen, like 2020, I think, something like that.
2020, so it was before they were purchased. Because they merged officially in 2022. So it would have started. So yeah. And I'm looking, they are credited for it on their list. So yeah, it was Vicarious Visions, which is now Blizzard Albany. There you go.
Cool.
There you go, Mav. That was an Activision buy. Pick them up, add them to the roster. I wonder
Yeah.
what they're working on. Do they say what they're working on now? They worked on Call of Duty. They helped with Call of Duty. Cold War. They helped with Call of Duty Warzone. They helped with Diablo 2 Resurrected. And they also worked on Diablo 4 and Diablo 4 Vessel of Hatred.
Interesting.
What the fuck was Call of Duty Roman Wars?
Call of Duty Roman Wars?
Yeah, that's a canceled game registered to that they are credited for. Microsoft Windows, PlayStation 3, and Xbox 360. What the hell was Call of Duty Roman Wars? Okay, hold on. Chat, we got to take a side track here.
It was like an old school Roman Empire,
I'm wondering, are we
Call of Duty?
Did we really have one of those on the board and they took it away? The Lost Call of Duty. Yes, it was going to be a fucking Roman fucking era Call of Duty game. Yo.
Really? Like with swords and shit?
Yes, there's video of it. It's on Reddit and everything. They got video. They got lost footage of it. Yes.
Jasper says it was a Call of Duty Gladiator game.
Bro. And they had bro. They look like Gears of War characters, like in size. They did. Yo. Oh, they got to bring it back. Oh, come on. You guys got to bring that back. Let's fucking go. Come on, chat. Who would not be down for a gladiator Roman style Call of Duty? Flat out. It was third person too, by the way.
Really?
Yes. And the dudes looked like Gears of War size.
It doesn't sound like Call of Duty. Like, it sounds like a cool game. I'm just curious, like, why you call it Call of Duty?
They were probably just because they were just using the name, obviously.
Yeah, it's just like you put Call of Duty in front of anything. Hey, this is Call of Duty.
Here, hold on, paste it as plain text. There, I threw it your DM directly.
Is it the video?
Bro, yeah, you can pull it up on Reddit and the video's right there. The YouTube video's right there. I could probably
Roman Wars.
Yeah, Call of Duty Roman Wars. Here, I could probably get you the link just to the YouTube.
No, I got it here. Yeah.
Okay. Put it up on play for everybody. Crazy. Who would not be down for that?
Our beloved republic is in the hands of madmen. This is a dark day, and I stand at a fork in the road.
Call of Duty Roman Wars was set to be a first and third person action
Who
adventure
made this
that was
video?
released around 2013.
Oh, Games
While
Radar.
the game was initially
Games
developed
Radar.
for PS3 and Xbox
It's
360,
legit.
the timing of its release could have seen it
Yeah, it
eventually
looks
arrive as
crazy.
a launch title for Xbox
Doesn't
One and
it?
PS4.
Bro, they had horseback, they had everything. They had
The game
siege
was in
weapons.
development Around 2008 at Vicarious
Rideable
Visions,
elephant?
developer Activision had bought out in 2005 and who
Yo!
now work mainly on the Skylander series. At the time, the
Okay,
success
I
of
was
the
curious.
the Spec Ops of its day.
Wow, it's
The
like
game
horse
was
riding.
ultimately never signed, and until
Yeah.
now, all people have seen is a leaked segment of
But
an
like-
internal
Oh, they did.
presentation.
It does say
Having
the
heard
video
about
says
Activision's
third
call for
and first
pitches,
person.
Vicarious
Both.
Visions assembled a small internal group called Fireteam to work on a prototype, which
Oh.
our sources tell me initially started
Bring it
out
back.
as
Well, yeah,
basically
the
a
guy
new
looks
project
weird
with
though
an
with his
overhead
build.
I
and
know.
ultimate alliance to
I
the town.
know.
Looks like he's like half horse or something. All right. Anyway,
Bring it back, Activision. That's what they're working on right there, man.
Maybe so.
That's
But-
why they picked up Vicarious Visions. They want to bring it back. You're gonna remake it. Let's go.
It's fucking weird.
I love it. Bro, I literally, I know there's channels out there that do it, that go back through and find all the canceled games
Yeah.
and shit of lost footage and stuff, or whatever's out there. Because there's not much. A lot of it was all destroyed, obviously, back in the day. But God, man, if they could just make a show that came out like on a regular basis showing off the games that we never got. There's so many good ones that we could add. Fuck. Anyways, side tangent. Spartan 661 says maybe they made Rise the Son of Rome instead. Maybe it was sold. No, I don't think. I think Rise Son of Rome was a
That's Crytek.
Crytek original idea.
And that was
maybe,
originally supposed
but I
to
don't think.
Rise Son of Rome was originally supposed to be a Kinect game.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Because that's why they've got yes, that's
Yeah.
correct.
And they
I remember
switched it like towards like
last
mid
minute.
development or towards the end to being a non-connect game. But it was like gonna be like a big thing because it was I think they just couldn't make it work.
Mm. Hey, Matt, by the way, I don't know if you saw this. I'm going to send this to you. Let's talk about this real quick. It's getting late here, so let's do this. We were going to do the Shuhei stuff, but we'll save it.
We'll
Exclusive new
save it for
details on the
tomorrow.
Black Panther
Ooh.
game
Okay.
from Cliffhanger Games. You choose the next Black Panther. Includes characters like T'Challa, M'Baku, Azari, Shuri, Killmonger, and more. Intends to replicate authentic African martial arts mixed with superhuman strength, agility, plus tech. Over the shoulder point of view. Weapons, armor, and gadgets are unique to each Black Panther. Explore cities, savannas, and more that let you encounter unique cultures and characters. Story reacts to your choices and actions with unique stories, missions, and dynamics. And this is from the Ghost of Hope, at the Ghost of Hope.
They had the different leak before too. I can't remember what it was. I remember it was on a show that I was quoting them for another massive leak.
Oh, you were? Okay.
Yeah, I don't remember what it was now though, but this was like something that they called out I think earlier this year or something. Oh, it was about Call of Duty.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was no. Oh, it was about next gen Xboxes. It was about next gen Xbox stuff because the information that they had about the next Call of Duty or something. The Call of Duty developers had talked to them about the next gen Xbox. I can't remember what all the details were, but I covered it on one of our shows.
Interesting. I don't remember that. I don't remember that. God, this
it's probably on a Mavcast or
might have been on
something.
Mavcast. Yeah, maybe something I missed. But for anybody who doesn't know, Cliffhanger is EA. So this is EA's Black Panther game, right? Because whatchamacallit is making the other Black Panther and obviously Captain America, Marvel 1940. Was it 1943? Coming this year as well, Matt. The fact that we're getting that game this year too from Skydance, yo, it's crazy. But anyways, this sounds kind of dope. You choose the next Black Panther. So you're like playing with them permanently? Like you get to pick the next Black Panther and then you play with that character and develop them? What if it's going to have RPG to it as well?
So this is not which studio's game is this?
This is Cliffhanger. So this is EA's. This is EA's game. Yeah. So this is not Skydance's, obviously.
Yeah.
1943. So so this is going to be the full-fledged one, but you get to choose the Black Panther. You're going to obviously meet a ton of the characters because they listed all the characters. And tends to replicate authentic African martial arts mixed with superhuman strength and agility plus tech. So we're going to have some Batman, obviously. Black Panther has some of that to him, right? Obviously. Like I said, is this going to be RPG? Are we going to up our stats? If we pick the Black Panther, are we going to start out at a certain level and then continue to increase as we go? Over the shoulder.
I could see that with tech and stuff too, like with your suit,
weapons, armor, and gadgets unique to each Black Panther.
Yeah, which kind of fits with
you're going to customize.
Which kind of fits with like what I'm familiar with Black Panther lore from the movies.
Much more.
So I'm much more into the movie universes than I am the old school comics and stuff. So, but like for what I know of the comics and or not from the movies and everything, like that definitely fits, because like they could each have their own suit with their own customizations and all that kind of stuff.
Okay, so that's kind of where they're going with. Explore cities, savannas, and more. Let you encounter unique cultures and characters. Story reacts to your choices and actions with unique stories and missions dynamics. And TK Chillin, I'm not going to say this is a straight up RPG. What I was saying was RPG mechanics. And I guess I was looking at it from the standpoint like Mav was just talking about, where you get to customize your character. I mean, you'll be able to play your style of Black Panther that you want to play. So it's not going to be just like you're just they've set you up with one Black Panther, whoever that would be, and they're centered a story around that one character. They're going to allow you to customize your Black Panther up front. Like if that's the case, that appeals to me even more, even though I'm not a huge Black Panther fan or anything like that. That sounds kind of cool though. Like that does sound kind of cool. Like being able to choose how I want to play my Black Panther and what they're focused on,
Yeah, you could have
with
one
gadgets,
like with
weapons, and armor.
stealth
Yeah,
oriented, or you could
right,
have one that's more
right.
like, because like
Yeah.
Killmonger from the movie was like definitely different than T'Challa, right?
Mhm, mhm.
So
Mm. Interesting information from Cliffhanger though. If that's the case, I love that one. Is the Marvel 1942 game or something out? No, Sly. That's what I was saying. The Marvel 1942 game is from Skydance. This one is the Cliffhanger games, which is EA. I know it's kind of confusing. That's why I threw that up front, because there is two Black Panther games being made side by side, right? But yeah, the Marvel 1942 one is Skydance, and this one is Cliffhanger over on EA, and this is going to be a different.
what has Cliffhanger made in the past?
Oh, that's a good question. What have they worked on? I'm trying to think off the top of my head why I don't.
Which is also a good movie, Cliffhanger.
Yeah, it's okay.
It's not great. It's good.
It's
Well,
it's
guess what?
okay.
I got to Kate to watch last night for the first time. She's
Oh,
never
Jesus,
seen
what?
this movie, Demolition Man.
Oh God, Jesus. Oh.
Yeah,
Now we're talking good.
yeah,
Now, now you're talking about some of the best Stallone and Snipes ever. Like that is,
yeah. The Snipes is so good in it, dude.
bro,
Yeah,
ridiculous.
Simon Phoenix.
Oh my God, man. I everything about that movie is cheap. Again, that's why I say 80s and 90s movies. I don't care. I will always be able to go back and watch them. People could say they don't hold up, but they do hold up in a certain way if you just if you just lean into the fact that they are cheesy. That movie
Yeah,
having the fast food wars and Taco Bell wing,
the
bro,
franchise. Yeah,
like,
the
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 franchise wars.
Schwarzenegger library. You know, like
It
um,
was just so insane, but so freaking good, man.
yeah.
Just so freaking good. All
The
of it.
fact they sing all these like um
Oh yeah,
the
they did advertisements.
jingles
Jingles.
for
Yeah,
the
the
old
advertisement jingles was their radio
down
station.
at the valley of the jolly green giant, 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 giant. Down
Oh,
at the valley.
and the whole three seashells thing.
Yeah,
Yo,
three
they just
seashells.
made up. They
I
just
still don't
made
know
up
how the
something.
three seashells work.
They just made up
It's
something
something that's gonna be
and whatever.
ridiculous. Yeah,
And then they predicted the future with cancel culture and
yeah,
the fines against swearing and all
yeah.
that kind of shit. Oh my
Fuck, you
God,
were
bro.
fined 1 credit for the moral.
When he just sits next to the machine and he's
Yeah,
talking into it,
you
anything
fucking
else
piece of dog shit ass.
oh my God.
Oh god. Yeah.
Such a good
What
movie. Did she
seems to be
enjoy
your
it?
boggle. Oh yeah, she loved it. Yeah.
Oh, so she
Yeah,
leans into the
she
themes. Okay,
like
I love it.
always kind of thought like it looked like she's not into sci-fi or futuristic stuff really too much.
Yeah.
So like she always kind of stayed away from it for whatever reason. And like I was trying to convince her to watch it. So I explained some of what it like the future stuff was like, okay, they're frozen because like he was a
Right.
criminal and he did
Yeah.
horrible shit, but they
We
wake up in like
program 'em.
this like future where there's like no crime and this like this kind of like crazy world, and then they have to thaw out Sylvester Stallone to go after him because nobody knows how to deal with him in that in the new world, you know. And she was like, "Oh, that sounds really cool." So that got her to watch it, and she loved it. So
I love that. I love that you're getting her all this shit. I think
yeah,
it's
yeah.
so dope. Cliffhanger, by the way, Cliffhanger, by the way, is the new studio that they formed just to make Black Panther.
Okay.
So this was that new studio that they formed out in Seattle.
Oh, is
now
this
that
the
I read-
one that was formed from the former WB Montreal devs?
This is the
Or
one led by Kevin Stevens from Monolith.
From Monolith,
came
not
over-
WB
Yeah.
Montreal, Monolith. Okay,
Yes,
yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, it's gonna be in good hands.
Mm-hmm.
I remember reading. I was doing a. Was this on Xbox Ultimate or FSP? But I was reading the stuff that came out about like WB and their issues, right?
Yeah.
And I was reading through it, and it just got hysterical. Like I'm reading through all of the shenanigans about the reasons why people left. I think this was a Schreier report or it was a Bloomberg one or whatever. And it was like, my God, it just read like a typical, you know, clueless executives making horrible decisions, wasting projects, canceling things, causing people to leave, all this stuff. And he left specifically during this time period, um, to go to EA. So yeah, I think that'll be better. Not that EA is like the golden choice for publishers on how to operate, right? But
No,
comparatively to some of the others,
not in any way.
in recent years, they've done at least a little bit better at having some good games come out in these different variety of genres.
Yes.
Jedi games, you got Star Wars. They're doing the RTS right now that I'm excited for.
We're supposed to get that announcement too.
Yeah,
At least a look at it. Oh, we are so flooded with gaming. Oh my god. I can't believe how much shit is coming out, man. I can't believe it. For anybody who didn't see it, by the way, the Cyberpunk sequel information that came out today was they're hiring, and they are working on they want to make the most realistic and reactive crowd system to date. And that came from a job listing shared by a source for the next game. So that's a tall one, Mav. They're already starting the hype. I mean, they didn't announce this publicly, but obviously they know the job listings go public now. They know people find them. So CD Projekt Red is not going to back down from
yeah,
going big or go home with the Cyberpunk. So I'm just so again, we didn't even know if we were going to get another Cyberpunk, and that was my biggest fear after the backlash, the first backlash. The fact that we're getting one and they're already started on it. Yes, I know. The main team is obviously on Witcher, but the fact that they've already started and they've got a separate team working on Cyberpunk, I'm gonna get another Cyberpunk in my lifetime. That is so freaking dope, bro. Like again, what they could do this time around with all the lessons learned, yo,
yeah,
I can't wait, man. I can't wait.
for sure.
God, I gotta go play the DLC. Oh, Phantom City.
Alvin hit us with a $5
Oh,
super chat. Thanks
that's
to
Alvin.
Alvin. Says Demolition Man is one of the most quotable movies ever and a top 5 favorite of mine, an all timer.
Yeah, there's no again. That's the other great part about 80s and 90s movies is quotability.
Yeah,
Like the one-liners that we got will never be replicated ever again.
yeah,
Sure, we still get movies who do it now and then, but my God, it was like every single action movie, you had at least a handful of one-liners from it.
yeah.
Especially any Arnold movie, any Stallone movie, like they just that was part of the writing was that you had to have the one-liners, right?
I'm trying to convince her now to watch the other Rambo movies. I've got her to watch First Blood,
How about
and
Commando?
I've
You put
got her
Commando
to
yet?
no, not yet. And I've got her to watch the last Rambo movie, Last Blood, right?
Okay.
But she hasn't seen like the only 2 Rambo movies she's seen is in the United States. Which is like
Now when he goes back.
yeah, not when he goes like overseas and stuff, which
Yeah.
is like all the Rambos pretty much, right? But yeah, that's it. And she's only seen those 2 Rambos. So I'm trying to get her to watch
Crazy.
Rambo 2, 3, 4.
She's seen Predator?
She back in the like a long time ago, I put it on, she checked out, but she's different now. She's like more interested
Right.
in this stuff.
Right.
But she didn't
I mean,
really like Prey, and that was just what 2 years ago.
Okay, she didn't like Prey. Okay,
But
that's
I
fine.
think
But I think Arnold brings something.
I think she
Yeah.
would like Predator.
I think she'd like 1 and 2.
Yeah.
2 is underrated. 2 got crapped on, but because
Yeah.
it didn't have Arnold.
Well, I even
But-
like some of the other newer ones. Like they're not like great,
They're-
but they're fun. Like
I like Aliens versus Predator.
mhm.
I actually
she
do
likes
enjoy
those
those.
ones. Weirdly.
Those are good.
Yeah.
Like the pyramid, the puzzle pyramid
Yeah,
one
yeah,
that
yeah.
kind of bro, that is dope as fuck. By the way, anybody wants a really low budget indie kind of horror sci-fi movie, go watch Cube. If you haven't watched Cube, go check out Cube.
Mhm.
People trapped inside Cube. It was made back in probably late 90s, I want to say. But one of the best indie low budget sci-fi horror movies you'll find. People trapped inside this puzzle like cube and trying to get out. It's crazy. It's so good. Anyways, just reminded me of that. But yeah, that puzzle pyramid one was dope. I really enjoyed that one. Where they had to figure out how to try to get out. Plus there was aliens. Plus there was predators. Oh my god, it was crazy. I like those. I like those cheesy shit. Mav, anything else you want to touch on, or should we get out of here? I
Eh.
thought Prey was really good. Prey was really good.
Nah, let's go play Avowed. Or I'm gonna go play Avowed.
Yeah, I gotta go to bed and get up in the morning. Everybody, it has been a slow week, but we appreciate you all dropping by tonight. I had a bunch of people not even have shows tonight, so thank you all for stopping on by, and seeing me and the Mavo talk for a little bit about some video games.
Yeah, we'll be here next week. You
Yeah,
see?
Copper. See, you'll never catch me, Copper. Yeah, no, it was a good time. Really good discussion on Avowed. And again, I knew we were going to come from kind of different perspectives. So I love to hear Mav's thoughts. And to kind of put mine again, because I haven't talked about it yet. And it was kind of rolling around my head. You guys know me. Normally I've posted on X by now screenshots and said something. And I haven't even done that. I posted my initial screenshot saying, hey, I get to finally play Avowed. And since that time, I've been radio silent. I've been obviously liking and sharing everybody else's stuff because I love that people are playing this and having such a great time. But it's honestly because I don't even know really how I want to say like what I think about Avowed right now. It's a really strange spot for me, but appreciate y'all listening to my nonsense as I kind of try to get through my thoughts about parts of Avowed and what it means. And again, it's early first impressions. Subject to change as we go, but thank you all for joining us again. Without you guys, these shows are nothing. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being everywhere that you guys support, even the shows that we're not a part of. I know you guys are in the community. You guys go listen to a bunch of different shows. You guys are the best, man. Again, without you guys, we are nothing. So it's never expected and always appreciated just for you showing up here, whether it's for 5 minutes or the entire show. So thank you. Nothing but love and respect to each and every single one of you. But Mav, talk about what we got going on, brother. Are we gonna have an Xbox Ultimate or not? What do you think?
I better.
Okay.
Because
Cool.
I didn't have one last week. So yeah, absolutely. We'll be back tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern time for Xbox Ultimate Podcast. Maybe I'd probably be doing a stream at some point, either Saturday or Sunday. So keep a lookout for that. And then we'll be back next week for FSP, and then here for Thursday's PM and the PM. And maybe we'll get some exciting news or something this coming week. Hopefully
Yeah.
so, because I know we're all just kind of. I mean, there's tons of games to play, so I think everybody's just kind of in their own gaming world right now, just enjoying the games and stuff. Which there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But I think we're about ready to get some more news here soon. So
Be nice. It would definitely be nice. So yeah, I can't wait, Mav. I should be there tomorrow night. I don't think I'm gonna have a problem, so I should be there tomorrow night. So that'll be fun. Get to talk with parts of the family that I don't get to see very often. Legendary Yobi, congrats. I think I liked and retweeted your post today. Again, I was at work and I saw it briefly. But I try to do that. But congratulations, sir. Getting sub 200, putting that work in, Legendary Yobi. That's what it's about, brother. Congratulations, man. It ain't easy. Keep it up. You know, Yobi, So, Mr. Positive, appreciate you, brother. Everybody, you know how to find me, Pong Soul, on X, formerly known as Twitter. Pong Soul on Epic, GOG, Steam, wherever. Follow me, I'll follow you back. By the way, speaking of Steam, if you guys are Capcom fans, Humble Bundle right now, 70 games from Capcom. The collections, like the arcade collections 1 and 2, all those games, 70 of them, $20 on Humble Bundle for PC right now, for Steam.
jeez.
Yeah, I'm going to pick that up. So it's got all the old Street Fighter. It's got Capcom Arcade 1 and 2, all the games, like everything. Like go look at Humble Bundle. It's nuts. $20 for 70. But yeah, follow me. I'll follow you back. Like I said, I should be there tomorrow night for Xbox Ultimate, where we get together right here on the Fun Speculation Network. Doesn't matter how many of the family are here. We have lots of good laughs. We have lots of good conversations about gaming. So join us tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 o'clock Central Time, Xbox Ultimate right here. Saturday morning, my brother from another steel, Rain and I, you know the drill. Set the alarms now so you don't have to remember, because we get going at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central Time, living split screen. Split screen is all one word, live, raw, and uncut. That's how Steel and I do it on Saturday mornings. We'll take you from your morning to your afternoon to your night, depending on where you are in the world. 3+ hours. Get set up, get buckled in, and enjoy the ride. We get the chat involved. And like I said, Steele and I have some unique conversations on Saturday mornings. So I'm not going to say it's always unique. We have a lot of general basic discussions that a lot of people do, but man, Steele and I get sidetracked a whole lot by our chat. So drop on in. Stop by and say hi. for a bit. But yeah, again, Living Split Screen Saturday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central Time. Be there for that. And then, of course, Shop Podcast, new time, new date, Sunday. That's right. The Shop Podcast is now on Sunday. PTK Blam's channel. It is Blam. It is Fuzzy. It is myself, and we usually have a guest or two. We had this guy right here, Mr. Fun Speculation Matt, for the first show back in quite a while. But we are now on Sundays. That's right. 5 p.m. Eastern, 4 o'clock Central Time, Sunday. Early evening. It's perfect time. 2-hour show, in and out. PTK didn't miss a beat last week. It's like riding a bike with him, man. No rust whatsoever. We had a great show last week. So join out the Shop Podcast on its new day and new time. Sunday, 5 p.m. Eastern, 4 o'clock Central Time. Next week, it starts all over again. Double Barrel Game is the channel. Boomstick is the man. Boom's been on fire with some of his takes, man. Got to get over there. Xbox Factory Podcast every Tuesday. All good things. Green, 12 p.m. Eastern, 11 o'clock Central Time. Say hi to that crew and join in the fun. And then, of course, my week starts right here next Thursday, God willing. It is month end next week. Might be a late start next week because it is month end. So closeout has happened. It always happens so quick. I can't believe we're at another month end here. Jesus, we're going to be rolling to March. God, man, it's crazy. But anyways, PM to the PM, Pong and Mav in the PM next Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 o'clock Central Time is the normal start. Stay tuned for that start time. But otherwise, everybody, it's the golden age of gaming. So please get out there and enjoy whatever it is, Avowed or one of the other billion games out there. Play what you love what you play. And I'll talk to you all real soon. Get us out of here.
Right on, everybody. Peace out. Take it easy and good night.